How dare you? Alright, hang on. I gotta shuffle the participants. Shuffle. Boom. It's shuffled. Okay, we're here. What's going on? Hang on. Hey, the audio sounds good for like the first time in my entire life. Age of Mythology or I'm unsubbing? I hosted a vote on what content people would want to see, and Age of Mythology got like 20%. Compared to just more, Warhammer got 40%. Warhammer Campaign got like 22%. And League of Legends got like 5%. So, it was not great. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to get into a lobby real quick here with some of the lads, and then I'll do a proper stream introduction. I know I have not been talking to you guys. I've just been saying mindless dumb shit because I'm stupid. Alright. Whoa, look who it is. Exactly where he said he'd be. Hi, Scotch. Hi, Sully, Miguel, Cash, Rhino, Nivas, Shiggy Diggy. Jepardo. Friendly stream today or toxic stream? Friendly. Always friendly. Always friendly. Awesome, Rhino. How's it going, brother? We have a new player tournament today, and it's a little different than our other new player tournament. Look above your bracket. It's in a little bubble. So what do we got today? I hosted on Challenge instead of Total Tavern because if you weren't a part of last week's stream, it was a disaster. Not really, but it was. But not really. It got better. So we had like I forget how many signups. Let's say 16. Sure, I'm making that up, but 16 signups ish. We had 3 people that dropped from the tournament. Two like checked in but then never showed up, and then 1 dropped mid tournament. We had another person who's going to be late, which he told me that. That was fine. But then he also had a bug happen to him, so we had 2 accounts in the same tournament with, like, the same name. So we had to figure out which one of those was real and which one was fake. It was a disaster. And Total Tavern is good for a lot of things, but on-the-fly moderation is not one of the things it's great at. So this week, to save my poor little rat heart some strokes and heart attacks, I went on Challenge, which is a site I know really well. I've used it forever. And the new players are not a fan. We both have lower signups than usual because it wasn't on Total Tavern, so people couldn't see it on the big popular site of the big popular streamer man. And then also it's just a different format, so they don't know where to look for like the rules or the maps, which Airstrikes, if you're watching the stream, the maps are right above your bracket. So we'll be going back to Total Tavern. But Total Tavern has something that Challenge does not. It has Swiss where you can auto-generate the rounds before the tournament starts. This only has Swiss, where you have to wait for everybody to get done, and then you can generate the next round, which leads to a very long tournament, as everybody is waiting for the slowest player. So we're doing a double elimination regular bracket. Long enough explanation for you? Enough behind-the-scenes bullshit you didn't care about? Well, welcome to my life. It's all bullshit. So we have four matches, 8 players today. Propo Folol, Greyheart, 1001 Airstrikes, Johnny Cash, Onyx, Eagle Crump, Mass Twist, and Hayseed. Now, with the Swiss tournament, I can sometimes pick winners and losers, but this is a little cleaner, a little crisper for me to pick a tournament favorite, and gosh darn it, we're going to do that. So, what screen are you guys on? Okay, you are with me. I just realized you could be sitting on a screen blocker and not seeing anything I'm talking about. Hayseed, my boy, I named an entire tournament after him, and he failed me. Now, some people might say, Human Boy, Hayseed clearly just plays what he thinks is fun. Maybe his objective isn't winning at all costs. Maybe it's just having a good time. No! Fuck that! Oh, wait. Jeff asked me if I was going to be toxic, and I said no. All right. Sorry. Hayseed, he's a fun-loving, good person, and he just had too much fun and lost some games. But thus, he has spurned my predictions, and I will give my hope and blessings to another champion, he said as positively as possible. Because Hayseed fucking trolled me too many times, and now he is burned in my eyes. So we'll go with... Twist is pretty good. Onyx is pretty good. Johnny Cash has also been very impressive recently. Greyheart, I recognize the name. I don't remember the playstyle offhand. Like, I can't just, like, summon up Greyheart's skill level. So let's stick to those. Let's go with the Cash Man. Johnny Cash. He is going to walk the line right to the finish line. I rhymed line with line. I am a failure. Johnny Cash, winning it all. Here we are. Johnny Cash and 1,001 airstrikes. If my prediction is to be true, Johnny Cash doesn't have to win this game because it is double elimination, but I would look certainly like a chump-ass bitch if I was like, Johnny Cash is winning it all, and then he loses right away. Friendly toxicity, what up? What up, Tequila Sunset? First time catching a stream, Lebreki XD. Miguel blames Turin. That's fair. We should all blame Turin for everything. You have a stroke in your heart? It's the worst place to have a stroke. Commentate Greyheart game, please. Greyheart, if you're out there in the ether, I am taking replays. I will cast every game sent to me. We are starting with a live game just because there are no replays to cast. But I'm hoping the other players send me their replays so I can cast us the whole tournament. See where everybody goes, but I will certainly catch some Greyheart games. Do not worry. Airstrikes and Hayseed are strong contenders? Yeah. Somebody sent me a very long message, so a second. Boom. Blocker is down. Don't always need a blocker, but for a live game, you don't want to show off other people's builds. Just 3 very fast salutes. Hey, nude. 1 salute I will hold until I have 1. Alright. So, my boy Johnny Cash here, starting off with the Lizardmen. I appreciate the pick. I don't know if I appreciate the pick versus Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay is mighty. Grand Cathay is strong. And I have found the Lizardmen have issues getting through heavily armored boxes, which the Dwarves in Grand Cathay are pretty good at getting heavily armored boxes going, you know? So we'll see. We have 3 Ripidactyl Riders. Rolling my R's because I am fancy. 1 Sacred Crocscore with 2 regular Crocscore pals, a front line of Skink cohorts. We have some Feral Cold Ones, and Mazdamundi on the back of Zlok with Apotheosis, Comet of Cassandora, and then Ruination of Cities and Banishment. With the Comet, Ruination, and Banishment, that is a ton of infantry clearing. That's generally pretty safe to bring versus Grand Cathay. You know they're going to have infantry of some kind. Yeah. On the side of Grand Cathay, we have Peasant Long Spearmen mixed in with Jade Warriors, a Zhengdu War Drum. Something that, like, everyone, myself included, thought was a garbage unit. And then, to be fair, it did get some buffs, but everyone kind of just forgot about it. And then the first person I saw bring it out was Pigman. He stomped an entire tournament with it, just a Grand Cathay box every game with a Zhengdu War Drum. And all of a sudden, people were like, is this any good? And now I see this thing everywhere. So triple Jade Warrior Crossman besides that, triple Grand Cannon as well, and the Dragon-Blooded Shukin Lord of Yin with the Ancestral Warrior Summon and Storm of Shadows. Mazdamundi's going to have a bad time dodging all those cannons. We have seen it before in our Lord Snipe tournament, the 2v2 Capture the Flag tournament. Grand Cathay was very powerful against Mazda. He dodged and he healed himself as much as possible, but he's still a very big boy, and Grand Cathay cannons are super duper accurate. And they even do fire damage, so fuck your healing. We're about to get into game here. Just players setting up for another moment or two. And judging by the unit animations, it does not look like we have a lot of lag, which can be a concern in live games. I've been burned in the past. But hopefully we'll get some spicy replays for the rest of the stream and not have to hold ourselves to lag concerns. Mazda fresh off a second place finish, and who is the best fat lord in the game? Grom the Paunch did narrowly beat him out, piloted by Gojira. We are in, actually pretty smart, Mazdamundi starting out in this little crevice so he can get into the woods, and then the woods will protect him from the cannons too. So Johnny Cash really using his environment to his advantage to mask his approach from the cannons. The Kroxigors are not so lucky. Cannonballs slamming into them. They've already lost one of their models. Looks like a couple more might be going down. Ooh, these are even the Sacred Kroxigors. That's brutal, but cannons are cannons. I mean, this is literally what they do. Some people on this map also use the hill to their advantage, but it looks like Lizardmen are going with the other way, using the low ground into the trees for their advantage, so still using the terrain. I like to occasionally mix in maps with some terrain just to keep it spicy. Not everything's a flat square. Makes you play a little different, makes you use your brain. Mazda does get a rear charge on the Jade Lancers, but all the cannons have turned towards him again. But there goes a Ruination of Cities down the line, taking out almost an entire Jade Warrior crossbow. They might rout, and here come the Ripperdactyls. Very nice timing on this charge. The Ripperdactyls are hitting just as the front line is getting here. We talked about it on previous streams in new player tournaments, but this was the right time to hit, because now Grand Cathay can either deal with your front line and Mazda, or they can deal with the Ripperdactyls, but everything hits at the same exact time, and there is no there's no preemptive strike, because then all of Grand Cathay can shoot the Ripperdactyls before the front line's even here. So really, really good execution here from the Lizardmen. They're doing solidly. Now, Mazda is chucking out spells as fast as he can, but he is still taking a lot of damage. Getting surrounded by those Ancestral Warriors and getting shot by cannons and crossbows is still pretty brutal for him, and the front line is going nowhere fast, which is more of a problem for the Lizardmen than Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay wants that front line to take forever, and they are currently getting their wishes. Grand Cathay has taken a lot of damage, but they are still up on the bounce power just slightly as Mazda's trying to heal himself up, but it takes a long time. Ripperdactyls are getting their job done. They are taking out these cannons with gusto, though we did lose one Ripperdactyl for it. The other one's at half HP, and a final one is also at half HP. And there's still these Ghost Halberds running around trying to find a fight with their summon time that is left. They find some Ripperdactyls, and Mazda's still harassing them down. The front line of Grand Cathay is starting to falter in some places. In other places, it has completely won out and can soon rotate those forces just to maintain the battle lines. Lizardmen don't have a ton of stuff in the backfield that could chase off the ranged units that are routing, but thankfully for them, the cannons have to come all the way back to the battlefield to get anything done. Something is happening right here. Is that a second Ancestral Warrior summon? Oh my, it is! He got the second Ancestral Warrior summon out before the other one even faded. Oh my god! I mean, they're gonna fade in 5 seconds, but still. Maz is getting worked on. I don't know if he has the Winds of Magic to heal himself up just yet. Ripperdactyls are also getting torn to shreds by these Ancestral Warriors, but also just Peasant Long Spearmen anywhere and everywhere. Buffed up by the Zhengdu War Drum. They have 34 melee attack plus an impressive, I think, 17 bonus versus large, so they are eating good in the neighborhood. The Ripperdactyls are out of here. Mazda tries to heal himself back up. Kroxigors are still fighting. The Lizardmen have got to find something they can do till these Ancestral Warriors fade. As a Ruination of Cities, I didn't even see it getting cast. There's so much chaos in this central fight. I just see missing health bars of several Peasant Long Spearmen. And Mazda's just got to opt out of here. He is throwing down a Comet as he leaves. It'll hit some Peasant Long Spears, but it's mostly aimed at the Ancestral Warriors, which, who cares about damage to them? They are just a summon. But still hits some Peasants, so it's overall a good cast. As Mazda really needs to abuse his healing, and he needs to just outlast the Ancestral Warrior summons. 25 more seconds before all of a sudden this battlefield looks a lot more friendly. Those armor-piercing Ghost Halberds are a huge problem, but once they're gone, you have non-armor-piercing Peasant Long Spears, which are still good, but not crazy. You have Jade Lancers, which are good, but not crazy. Like, Mazda could do some serious work if he has time to heal up and just be a little biscuit. Ripperdactyls are rallying on the sides of the battlefield, trying to come back, trying to chase some stuff off. We're also getting Feral Cold Ones back. So overall, not bad at all here for the Lizardmen. I know the balance of power is looking really dire, but tactically, I'm not counting the Lizardmen out just yet. I think they're down, but I don't think they're down by as much as the balance of power was showing. And even now, it's getting slightly better. But Mazda's got healing. He has no more bound spells, but he is still on a giant terror-causing dinosaur, for God's sake. He'll be okay. Lizardman just gotta play patient, play calm. The Dragonblood Shugi Lord is out of Ancestral Warrior summons, so she just has her slow, which is less impactful when you don't have range units to follow up on it or anything. There are the Apotheosises. Johnny Cash is just slowing this game down, as you tend to versus Cathay, Skaven, Dwarves, Empire. Once you take out their range, they are just kind of a mass of melee stats, and you can choose your own engagement, which is the last advantage you have, because they're going to outstat you if you just sprint into them. But if you take slow, smart engagements, you can tear them apart. Croc scores rallying, getting their vigor back, waiting for Mazda Mundi's cooldowns. Meanwhile, the attacking rule is being fulfilled, don't you worry, as these Ripperdactyls and Feral Cold Ones are getting into some fights, fighting some Jade Lancers. All the rules are being followed. Though in a new player tournament, we also tend to be more chill about those things. I'm just letting you know that there isn't a rule break I am ignoring. It is all above board. In the distance, Croxagores are getting shot at by Jade Warrior crossbows. But I think that is inconsequential as far as the fight goes. Now, something has to be done about this War Drum, because it is currently getting all of these troops immune to psychology, making Mazda Mundi's terror worthless, even his fear. So if it dies, they'll lose a bunch of leadership too, because the fear won't be here. Shugi Lord is going for a bit of an excursion. She needs to come back here immediately, and it looks like she is, but in comes a Comet of Cassandora. Does Cathay notice? They do, and they try to run. Can they get out in time? Will it trend to the right, or will it trend to the left? It is trending to the right. Beautiful RNG. Truly the gods favor the Lizardmen, and the balance of power is coming right back to the middle as Mazda Mundi starting to break up some of these fools. That War Drum still continues to beat, giving melee stats and immune to psychology to all these deadly spears. And you can see the toll is starting to get wrought on the Lizardmen. Croxagores are not having a good time. Ripperdactyl Riders are dying once again. The Lizardmen, can they maintain this momentum? Momentum is shifting in their favor, but I feel like it's about to get real bad unless they can do something about that drum. 1,000 HP left on it, and it is critical that it dies. So many of these peasants will rout if that thing dies, but it looks like it's not going to. It's going to stabilize at 1,000 HP as the Sacred Croxagores. Oh, they're still fighting. Okay, yeah, it is going to take a little bit. I can't see there's their thing. I thought they were routing. Cathay is still holding on for now. Spear's doing great work on its Sacred Croxagores, and the War Drum, 500 HP. Its HP is all I care about. 400. Mazda Mundi's even coming over here now. 250. Still thundering away, and the Sacred Croxagores might rout any second now. 100 HP. Can Mazda get a good hit on it? He does. He takes them out. Now the Terror Routes come in. There goes one Spearman. A Comet is coming down at the same time. This Jade Warrior is super close to Terror Routing, because another Comet's going to hit the Peasant Long Spearman. It even trends towards them. A second very lucky Comet trending towards the fleeing units, and there go all the Terror Routes. Cathay is running for the hills. This Peasant Long Spear rallied. He only has 3 leadership, but he is immune to terror for now, though Mazda did get abandoned by most of his forces. Sacred Croxagores are getting chased down by the Shugen Lord, but she abandons that. She decides instead now is a good time to try and fight Mazda while he has no bodyguards left. All of the peasants are leaving. Balance of power is 50-50 once again. Jade Warriors try and hold against the Croxagores charging straight at them, but Feral Cold Ones coming on the other side. They get sandwiched in by terrifying dinosaur monster creatures, and I do not think their leadership will hold. 9 for them. The Shugi Lord is still considering how to deal with Mazda Mundi as Jade Lancers are chasing off the other things. Jade Warriors do eventually rout. Peasant long spears once again fighting Mazda Mundi. Storm of Shadow is going to slow him down. But they're just poor peasants. Another terror route takes them down. In the distance, Jade Warrior crossbows routing. So right now, the only things for Grand Cathay is a very wounded Jade Lancer and a nearly full health Shugenin Lord. Storm of Shadows tries to slow down Mazda Mundi. Still gets a charge in onto her. Gets another big hit. There's a lot of wins from Mazda there. As Grand Cathay is starting to rally some troops. They're starting to rally some pikemen. They still have Jade Lancers that are running off proc scores, but could come back soon. And we have some Jade Word crossbows. It looks like they're 2 damage to come back, but that would be very nice. Just a little bit of small arms fire would really help in the leadership battles here. Feral Cold One's super close to routing as Jade Warriors charge bravely into the storm. Once again, they don't learn their lesson and they immediately tear out away. But Cathay has spears they can fall back on. And if they're fighting next to the Shugenin Lord, they'll at least get the Encourage aura. Storm of Shadows overcast in onto Mazda Mundi, slowing down all these guys, but she is charging in without any support. Probably needed to wait for her Jade Lancers and her spears if she was going to take this engagement. She did not, and now she might be regretting it. A rear charge in from the Jade Lancers would break these Feral Cold Ones for sure, but, I mean, you're taking a lot of damage for that chance. She's going to get back in the sky. All right. So I like the idea there. I think we just need to wait for the Jade Lancer. So now is when you'd, in a perfect world, you'd want to be diving in now, clump them up so the Jade Lancers get a rear charge onto them, but before you take a lot of damage. So she just did it a bit too early. Here she goes. Feral Cold Ones are routed, even shattered, so you don't even have to bother chasing them. The Sacred Crocs, well, the regular Croc scores are going to rout as well, soon leaving Mazda Mundi alone, and that is great. Your Jade Lancers are terror routing, that's fine. They'll come back. They'll figure it out. Another big shot onto your Shugenin Lord is not great. You have spears, lots of spears to fight Mazda. They're probably going to tear up. That's okay. Just keep cycling them back in. You got to do what you got to do. I would like the Shugenin Lord to stay a little closer so we can at least get her leadership buff, the Encourage, to try and keep these guys in a fight a little bit. The Jade Lancers are back from their route, and then they're going to naturally route too. You cowards! You saved it for the Dragon Emperor! There we go. They're going to rally. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're chilling. So they could charge in, and then the Shugenin Lord could charge in too. Mazda Mundi would be surrounded and getting beat up. Shugenin Lord does have really high weapon strength and melee attack. It's not necessarily armor piercing, but still, it is pretty high. It is pretty good. Jade Lancer's going to get a rear charge in here. Shugenin Lord backing off just as Mazda gets the charge in. The Jade Lancers a little bit desynced here. One charging out as the other one is charging back in, but here we go. Now they're all fighting on top of each other for once. Getting some good shots in. Mazda Mundi is fighting back, of course, but that health is dipping down. He's got 2,700 HP. She has 2,200, and she still has spears who are now ITP briefly. Well, not ITP. There's fear, but they can't tear her out. So if she fights next to them, maybe they can hold, get a couple good jabs on Mazda Mundi. They stop and they brace, which is great. But she needs to get in there. She needs to dive in quick while the spears are still holding his attention. She gets in there, refreshes her charge bonus. Gets another shot in. Non-primary weapon strength of armor piercing is a problem. Now most of her spears are abandoning her. And we have some spears coming back. Croc scores are also here, though. Came across the map to save Mazda Mundi. Peasant long spears are going to get back into the fight, but the Shugenin Lord is stuck battling for now. It looks like she's going to go down. She's just not good enough of a melee combatant to take on Mazda Mundi and Zlak. She did admirably, but it's not looking to be enough. He's down to 2,000 HP. She's at 1,000. Cowardly Jade Lancer's just going to leave her on her own. Peasant long spears trying to come out of the trees to get to Mazda. She charges back in. This charging is fine as long as the Peasant long spears are moving up. There we go. Looks like they didn't get attack orders for a bit, but she can cycle charge as long as she wants, as long as there's someone else trying to attack, and in that case, this is the spears. They were just forgotten for a brief moment. But on the charge, Mazda should break them, but he's going to turn and try and fight the Shugenin Lord, who gets a rear charge in. He's down to 1,600 HP. She's gotten a couple good hits in a row, and she tries to run away again to get more cycle charging out. She tries to slow him, but he gets a good charge attack on her back, and then the peasants abandon her, and that is GG. A very good game to start out. Nardu's here. Don't fear. All right. I'm not going to fear. Jeremy's here. I'll get caught up on chat in just a second. I'll get caught up on chat in just a moment. Don't you worry. Peasant long spears getting amazing value versus Lizardmen. Jade Warrior crossbows did okay. Jade Lancers more mixed. And then the cannons also pretty mixed as Mazda was kept in safety. Shanked War Drum did okay. For Mazda, 3,600 damage value blowing up the box. Cold ones. Ripperdactyls did great. Croc scores more mixed, but they did alright. In-cars ping in Discord. Oh, shit. No, you guys are right. I didn't hit start. You guys are right. Mask Twist sent me a replay. Hayseed sent me the same replay. I'm not going to save it twice. I'm going to save it from Twist, not Hayseed, because he's nicer to me. Yeah, good first game to start stream out. Good job, lads. And for anybody part of the tournament that is listening to the stream, send me replays and I will cast them. So this is also from the first round. One of these two hops down to loser's bracket. One of them proceeds onwards. We have Twist versus Hayseed. Cannons are cannons. This is the type of high-level analysis I come to the channel for. Yes! Jeremy, are you winning? Yes! Slaanesh Vanguard. No! Wrong! Rippers are just slaughtered to everything right now. They're pretty good, but they are fragile and expensive, so you can't screw up with them. The Wardrum ITP can't even Feral Bastiller Bomb. Feral Basti Terror Bomb, the box. Yeah, that's tough. Nardu is here, and I feel no fear. Issue with the in-magic is your no-good cheap damage spells. Town's too expensive for what it does. Yeah. Yeah. Always love to see a box get squashed. It is neat. Okay. Oh, my God. Jeez. That was a lot to get through. We have a game here between Hayseed and Masked Twist. I believe Masked Twist is the Vampire Coast. I was distracted by chat. Take that, chat. Yes, Twist is the Vampire Coast. So for the coast, we have 1 Bloated Corpse, 2 Carronades, 2 Rotting Promethean Gunnery Mobs, one of which is Lamper's Revenge, quadruple handguns, front line of 3 Bomber Mobs and a regular Deckhand Mob. We have a Deeps Captain with the Crab Summon and Tide Call, and then we have Luther Harkon up in the sky on his Terror Goose. For Hayseed and Nurgle, Pestigors and Chaos Furies mixed in with Forsaken and Marauders across the front line. It is a ton of infantry, which is honestly a lot of Nurgle builds right now. Pestigors are an amazingly cost-effective and great unit. That's why you even see them on Beastmen rosters. So take those, take a bunch of Marauders, take Furies, overwhelm the enemy's front line, and push through. Spirit Leech Caster for a Lord, and then we do have 1 Exalted Hero of Nurgle just for a bit of armor-piercing dueling in case of dealing with Noctilus. Or I guess Crabs in the late game. That could be concerning. Is if it's a relatively even game and we get to the late game, the Lamper's Revenge can do really well against this army. Full health Pestigors with armor piercing will do fine against them, but again, in an even late game, when your Pestigors are getting really low on health and stuff, I don't think they'll have the backbone to stand and fight the Lamper's Revenge. Watch the boat? Okay, watching the boat. I'm watching the boat! Huh! Oh, he's going! Holy shit! That was the first Bloated Corpse that might have paid for itself. Like, ever. So good job on that front. Meanwhile, the handgunners just poking down the Forsaken on their way in. Armored, but no missile resist, no shields. And the handgunners, of course, are armor-piercing missiles, so good damage onto those Forsaken. In come the Chaos Furies of Nurgle onto the handgunners. Can the Lamper's Revenge bail them out? We will see. And cannons are currently firing at the Exalted Hero. And then some Marauders. Okay. Bomber's going to mulch the front line. Nurgle has nothing if not HP, though, so they should be able to tank through that relatively fine. Like, the Marauders are at half HP and still pressing on, as is their birthright. Lamper's Revenge now trying to peel the handgunners. A little too late to save those handguns. Also, one of the cannons is in trouble. But Forsaken running out of leadership. Might be turned back soon. Especially with the Crab Summon showing up. Yeah, now they'll get routed immediately. Goodbye, Forsaken. But Luther is fucking around with some Chaos Furies. I also noticed this when I recently tried out Luther, because he seemed fun. The fun stopped when he did fucking nothing and sucked and died for 3,000 gold. But I'm not bitter. I have forgiven Luther for his many, many sins against me. Vampire Coast backline is entirely compromised by these Furies, and now just the man-tide of Pestigors and Marauders. There are too many bodies for them to physically stop, so the backlines are getting breached in multiple places. Lamper's Revenge doing fantastically, as they usually do, and Luther is still very healthy. That's why the balance power is even Vampire Coast favorite a little bit, but I personally think Luther sucks. No bias. I think he sucks. Anyway, I think Luther sucks, so that is 3,000 gold you are not getting to use. So aside from that, the Coast Army is getting torn apart. Now Luther is still trying to run down this Sorcerer of Death, but his pistol has low ammunition, piss-poor missile strength, and he fires it while moving, but he apparently can't hit fucking anybody, so he's not even going to kill the Lord with that pistol, because Luther sucks. And look at that! Balance power just tanks off the face of the earth as a beautiful tide call is going to hit 3 Furies, but they're still losing because Luther sucks! I mean, I've gotten over it. I have moved on. I don't hold grudges. I am a nice person. As Jeopardy said, this is a non-toxic stream. So Exalted Hero gets hornswoggled as Luther tries to find his way out of here. He is having troubles. And now he's surrounded by Pestigors, by Chaos Furies, though he is putting in a schlappening on the Exalted Hero. It's the one thing he's good at, is if people stand and fight him and don't run away, yes, he can get a lot of damage out. He can't crowd clear. He can't support fights because he has no buffs or debuffs or really anything to help cavalry or anything. He has no cavalry to buff. Luther sucks, but sure, he can beat up a piss-poor random Exalted Hero all by his lonesome. Luther's great. I digress. Bloated Corpse did more than you! A bloated corpse did more than you! You stupid... I like Human Boy before he got angry. Then you didn't like the real me. You like the fake version of me I put out on YouTube Shorts. Spirit Leash is going to drain Luther down a bit, while the mass poison of Nurgle keeps him slowed down enough that the Pestigors can even keep up with him a bit while charging. The Exalted Hero is constantly harassing him. Army losses is on the horizon for them, but Luther comes over and he says, I started this game chasing the Chaos Lord, and I will end this game chasing the Chaos Lord. As another Tide Call rips through the forces of Nurgle, but it is a final pile to end all piles. Lamper's Revenge surrounded by great axe-wielding Pestigors who are chopping through them with that armor-piercing. And some of them are terror-routing, but if you have just so many boys, you can't possibly run out of axe-wielding boys. Lamper's Revenge starting to crumble. Luther not feeling too good either. The writing is on the wall. Who's worse, Luther, Harkin, or Greases? Okay, Greases, yeah. Like, yeah, Greases is worse than Luther. I'll be realistic about this, but I still think Luther sucks. Was the live match entertaining? Oh, it was super good, dude. It was really, really close. It was really close. And Sully, I never forgive. And I never forget. If you want a good laugh, compare Red Crested Kings to Pestigors. I made a video relatively recently, I think it was last month, where I did the top 5 worst units in the game. Red Crested Skinks were on there, and I took some heat for that. People said Chameleon Stalkers were worse, which maybe I look at them as equally dogshit units, but at least Chameleon Stalkers have stock. So you can kind of get a once-in-a-while surprise. Like, there was a game where I left my Warp Lightning Cannon with some Skaven Slaves because I didn't think Chameleon Stalkers existed, and I saw what looked like a full Lizardmen army in front of me. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, nothing about the model count is suspicious, so I don't expect Chameleon Stalkers. And then all of a sudden, my Skaven Slaves were routed, my Warp Lightning Cannon was offline. I was like, what? And I scroll back there, and there's a bunch of Chameleon Stalkers beating up my crew. So, like, I'm not pretending Chameleon Stalkers are a good unit, but at least they have that. So, it's something. Just more than you can say about Red Crested Skinks. Red Crested Skinks are just ass. They're bad. Which is weird, because they used to be, like, super staple in Warhammer 2. Every build for Lizardmen had Red Crested Skinks. I don't have any replays just yet. We're still waiting on 2 games to complete. Hang tight, my children. Hang tight. Let's take a look at this, since Tequila has demanded it of us. Lizardmen. Red Crested Skinks for 575. They will fight Pestigors of Nurgle. Pestigors have more melee attack, more melee defense, more weapon strength, more charge bonus, less speed, 2,500 more health, more armor, and then they have Primal Fury, Tears of Nurgle, which is insane, by the way. Tears of Nurgle is an insane ability. And missile resistance. While the Skinks have... Ooh, the Beastmen also have Woodsmen. Skinks just have Frenzy. Which, like, Frenzy's not nothing, but... Immune to contact effects. Okay. Okay, bro. Sure. Sure, brother. While we wait on the next game, I feel like I had something to tell you, but now I'm forgetting what it was. I got you good that game? Yeah, it was Olaf. What, Luther or Epidemus worse? Probably Luther? Probably. How about large-breasted skinks? Hey, that guy. He gets it. Red skinks have nothing. What was I going to tell you guys? Damn it. I'm getting upset now. What? I totally forgot what I was going to say. Whatever. There's something I felt like sharing with the class, and I guess I just don't get to. While we wait on our next thing, I'm just gonna try and find a quick battle. Tremor is typing. That's a name I haven't seen in a while. Onyx, and who's the last one? Okay, we have a replay, but I need to check something. Holy! And a Wild Empire pick. Somebody's calling for a rule break check. We are on it. Looking around. So far, everything seems fine. Hammer the Witches is shooting, which is totally fine. There's been some skirmish here and there. Elspeth is just straight up sniping out Luther, because that's Elspeth. I mean, Luther, yes. The Wulfric. Wulfric the Ponderer. So I haven't seen anything concerning so far. And then she snipes out the caster. Just New Empire being New Empire so far, but the Norsca gets a good overwhelm on the backline. Still not seeing any issues. Alright. He says there might have been an attacking rule issue. He is a newer player and just wants to know. That's fine. We love when people just want to know. So, this is where I should slow it down. Oh, okay, we have Outriders over here that have been attacking this whole time. I was going to say, like, these Outriders are backing off and Elspeth is also backing off. Maybe that was what he's looking at, but over here we have Outriders shooting the dogs, like, literally the whole time. As long as something's attacking, we're good. So I'm going to just watch these Outriders as they've been doing stuff this whole time. Outriders still chasing dogs. Now they're coming back. And they're still coming back, there they go. But the dogs are here, getting shot at again. Why don't you buy them a beer? So these Outriders are still shooting. These Outriders are shooting while they're moving. Shooting. Spearmen are running away. Everything's running away for a moment, but you have some Halberdiers coming back in. Also, momentary lapses in the attacking rule are fine if you're trying to reposition. So this one, the Halberds have stopped. And now everything is running away. Or are the Halberds running away? No, they're trying to attack. Okay, they're just slow as shit. And we also have some Spearmen who are attacking over there. So that was fine, because the Halberds were trying to get in there. Now they're routing. Spearmen are still attacking. Outriders are attacking. Yada yada. Yada yada. Yada yada. Spearmen are routing. Outriders are still attacking, though. So we're good. Outriders still attacking. Now they're repositioning. For a bit too long, so yeah, that'd be a rule break. A minor one. And a new player turn, I tend to be more chill, but... Outriders still attacking. Now they're attacking over here. So I found one, like, little rule break where you had this... Both those Outriders were just trying to run away for a while and get to a better position, which is fine, but you generally have to, like, stop and shoot roughly close to your reload speed, which they didn't, but it was just for a brief moment. Now they've been shooting since then, though, and before that they were fine. So this Outrider still firing. Plenty of ammo to keep doing this. So Elspeth can cycle charge as long as these guys are shooting. That's not a problem at all. Dun, dun, dun. From how I see this game playing out for the rest of time, I'm guessing it was fine. There was one teeny tiny one that I probably wouldn't even have called on veteran players because it was barely a thing. And I don't think it really affected the game too much. TBH. Ooh, she's getting dicked. What is this monstrous infantry? Oh, it's a Famir! That's why they're taking, like, no damage from these Outriders. I mean, Jesus. They've been getting shot for, like, 6 years. Elspeth is getting low. Oh, no, and then the Outriders with ammo routed for no reason. All these Outriders run in, and that's fine. They're back to shooting. Yeah, okay, there's a teeny tiny little thing. You on stream? Or do I have to explain it in chat? Alright, so Empire wins. Got it. Alright. Yeah, I explained my findings because Greyheart was asking. There were points where there were these super injured Outriders that were shooting dogs way off screen, that if he didn't know that was happening, he might be like, why the fuck is my opponent just running away? That's messed up. But there was an Outrider shooting in the distance. And then, other than that, it was just really good kite play. I think his intervals were a little long in some places, but overall he always had something attacking, except for that one moment where there were Outriders shooting a gap through his force and the other Outrider was just running away. That period is fine for a bit, but he needs to stop at some point, and he definitely waited too long to stop, but not long enough that I wouldn't care. Like, even like without my new player tournament, like, I tend to be more lenient on the rules in a new player tournament. Even without that, I wouldn't have called it. I would have said it's minor enough that I don't think it affected the game, and I would have left it alone. So, there's all my thoughts. "5 minutes of battle, 20 minutes of kite." Be so annoyed by that game if I was Norsca. Yeah, dude. Their attacking doesn't count because they didn't hit anything for 3 minutes. Oh! Pog, dude. Pog. Alright, we have another replay coming. The player just asked me how to send it. So all of round 1 is done. I'm not going to bother casting a game because we literally just watched all of it, but the Empire of Propofolo did win and will advance. We have 1 game left from the first round of Onyx and Eagle Crump that I am going to receive soon. Don't you worry. Quick Battle calls me. Quick Battle! The battles that are quick! Alright, I'll give Onyx 10 more seconds before we find a lobby. There's the Hayseed lobby. There's the Johnny Cash lobby. There's High Greyheart lobby. Oh! Tell me your secrets. You know how to do replay? Alright. Watch stream. So, if anybody out there is looking to send me replays, we're going to turn this into an advertisement while I try and help Onyx out. If you want your games cast on the channel, on my channel, come with me. Left screen, if you go into my server, you can go to Replays for Casting and post all your wonderful replays here. Can be from quick battles, can be from anything. Probably not campaign unless it's really interesting, but I don't generally just cast random-ass campaign battles. But if you're looking to send me a replay and you don't know how, you can go into your computer, go to my PC. Oh shit, it's been a long time since I've done this. Local disk, I think. Users. Yes, users. Alright, cool. Yes, now I know where I'm going. App data, roaming, the creative assembly. It's it's all the way at the bottom. Warhammer 3, replays, and there they all are. You can literally just drag and drop them into Discord, and it works great. See? You can just hit enter, and it would go, but I don't want to actually post that one. But just so you know, that's how you send replays. And Onyx is currently working on that to send me their replay, so we'll get that very soon. Onyx versus Eagle Crump. Ryder of Rohan wants something. I refuse to answer. We could go look at the secret CA Discord. You guys want to go in the secret CA Discord? See a bunch of classified stuff, and if I click on that, I will get kicked out of the program forever. Let's go click on it. Let's fucking send it. Let's do like a thing that is very explicitly against the rules. No. Maybe tomorrow, but not tonight. Alright, what does Ryder want? We're hopping in. That's it. I'm not waiting for Onyx anymore. I will eventually. Onyx will be back. Your replay will still be there, but I am hopping into a live game because we got to get content on the channel, and people start leaving. It's awful. You can spectate. I found a game. Airstrikes and Greyheart. I'm in. Don't worry about me, Cash. If only there was a mode with Central Point that forced fighting whereas Professor. That is true. That is true. I'll answer that in just a second. You turn on hidden files to do it? Yes. Okay, so Conquest. Here's the thing with Conquest. Because I do have opinions on Conquest, but it's hard to say them without sounding like an asshole. Because I know like people who really like Conquest for some reason think I don't like it. I just have mixed feelings on it. So here's the positive. I love Conquest for quick battles. I don't even queue land battles anymore on the ranked matchmaking. I just queue Conquest because I have such a bad history of garbage nonsense. That at least Conquest forces the point. But to be honest now, even with that it forces the point thing, if someone takes a bullshit army, I just leave anyway. Because I only play quick battles for fun. So, there's that. Conquest is great for that. Conquest and land battles have trade-offs. And I think they are both equal in quality. It just depends what the bad games are. But bad games are bad games, and it doesn't matter. A 20-minute super kite fest is pretty boring to watch. Like, oh, Blue Fire of Tzeentch is getting cast again while a Soul Grinder kites. That sucks. Like, that sucks to watch. Right? Agreed. But in Conquest, you can also get blob fests that are pretty terrible to watch. And again, like, some people get really mad at me when I say that. It's like, I'm saying we get them. I'm saying I've hosted Conquest tournaments and I got a bunch of blobs. Were all the games blobs? Fuck no. Were blobs the best way to play the game for wins? Also no. But I saw a lot of them. And like, as a content creator, bad games are bad games. I don't really care why they're happening. I don't really care if they're the most effective playstyle. The point is they're happening. Right? So that, like, there's that. I think Conquest and land battles are equally capable of getting good content. I think they're equally capable of getting bad content. The bad content you get is just different. Now, why do I only host land battles? RTK Big JP hosts a lot of excellent new player tournaments about every week, and he does a lot of Conquest and domination stuff. So I really just don't want to trample on his parade. When he's not doing land battle tournaments, but he is doing Conquest, it's like, well, okay, for the people that prefer land battles, I can host some of that, and I cannot burn people out on Conquest tournaments when he's doing such a good job. So there's a bit of that where it's like, I prefer land battles personally, just because I've been playing them for 5 or 6 years, and there are other new player Conquest tournaments every week, so I don't see the need to flood the market with more of them. So there is my answer. It is probably longer than you wanted, Worst Professor. But, yes. Conquest is good. Land battles are also good. Bad games exist in every game mode. I'm not a domination fan, but I know for a fact there's some bad domination games and there's some good domination games. So, we are in the lower bracket. This game is live. It is Greyheart versus Airstrikes fighting for their tournament lives. Whoever loses this is out for the night. Whoever wins keeps the dream alive. Conquest is the best game mode behind Dom. I hosted Conquest tournaments for a week. There's a lot of blob play. Yeah. And maybe it'll get better in the future. It is what it is. But for me, it's just like, yeah, Big JP is hosting a lot of Conquest new player tournaments. And currently for me, Conquest has issues, Land Battle has issues. I mean, and another thing that I find interesting, as we're just letting the players build their builds. Here, you can see the check mark. Airstrikes is ready. Greyheart is close. He's doing some gold Jenga. The thing is like, I watch a lot of competitive League of Legends. What else do I watch? I watch a lot of competitive Super Smash Bros. And I watch some real sports, but the thing that I always find funny is like the Total War community I hang around with. This might be unfair, but this is just what I have seen in my community. The Total War community I work with has such a high standard for like, well, actually it's a low tolerance for bullshit, but just such a high standard for like what makes a competitive game. As I'm watching Super Smash Bros tournaments where there are like no patches ever, and tournaments just start banning the most OP characters over time. Like Steve from Minecraft is slamming a bunch of Super Smash Bros tournaments that most of them just started like banning him from being played. And then there are some Super Smash Bros tournaments that have like essentially attacking rules, like you can't just run away and stall the timeout. So there's rules like that. League of Legends gets a patch like every other week, and still there's some metas that are just dog shit. Like entire metas of lane swap, which we actually just kind of went through. Team Liquid won the whole summer split off of lane swapping. Which if you don't know League of Legends, essentially it's where you switch what position on the map you're playing on, so that you 2 or 3v1 one guy, and then that guy can't play the game, and the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game is just people killing minions and no one fights because both sides of the map are in a 3v1, so why would they ever fight? Like, it's dog shit. But, like, that just happens. And if you ever watched real sports, there's some shit fucking games. There's some football games, American football, there's some football games where both defenses are good and both offenses suck ass, and the game ends at a scoreline of 3-0 because one team got close enough to kick it through a fucking field goal and they won the whole game off that. There's some soccer games that ended at like a 0-0 tie. Like, in the history of competitive anything, there's some shit games. Like, it just happens. There's some fucking bangers too, but there's some shit games. And it is funny when I just like, again, this is just what my opinion on the community. But my Total War community, I love them, but they're also like, man, I had one banned game. This Total War is dog shit. All this stuff sucks, and CA can't fix their game and any of that stuff. And I'm just like, you have some valid points, but I also feel like you don't watch enough competitive anything to know that, like, there's sometimes just some shit games. Like, it's how it is. You shrug, you're like, yep, that one sucked. I'm not going to pretend it didn't suck, but I'm going to move on, and sometimes there's good games. Now, you know, there's a reasonable criticism. If you're spending this as your free time, and you're trying to have fun, and more times you end up angry than having fun, then yeah, you shouldn't be playing this game. Yes, you have a completely reasonable point that you should play something that you find more fun more consistently. I agree with that. But I also would say you're going to have a hard time in a lot of competitive games because sometimes you just get your fucking shit wrecked. If you've ever played Call of Duty and the rest of your team is off in the corner jerking off doing nothing, 5 of them have fucking sniper rifles on a close range map, yeah, that game's going to fucking suck too. It's just going to suck. So there's my rant you didn't ask for. But it bought us enough time to get into the game. Boom! Movie magic! You didn't even notice we were sitting around doing nothing because you're too busy listening to me bitch about things you don't care about. Did you enjoy the old Season 4 lane swap meta? I did not, no. CA, please! How's the Minnesota Ratman today? I'm great, Zero. I'm actually doing really, really well. My summer of hell finally ended, and now I actually get back to streaming, which I enjoy, and hang out with the chat, which I enjoy. American sports have a disproportionate amount of shit games. Yeah, Jack Norman. Yeah, we do. Let's get into that. We do have the Grand Cathay box sitting on a little bit of a hill, plenty of distance away from the white lines. They are okay on that front. They have a Sky Junk, 4 Jade Warrior crossbows with shields, the Zhengdu War Drum, a bunch of Peasant Long Spearmen, and then a front line of Jade Warrior Halberds. Onyx Croman on the flanks, and Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, with just his Dragon Breath attack. Airstrikes did lose the first game of the stream. It was super close against Johnny Cash, but this time he is taking a Lord with a very cheap spammable damage spell so he doesn't get stuck just slowing people in the late game. On the other side, for the Greenskins, we have 4 Goblin Rock Lobbers, including the Hammer of Gork to try and force Grand Cathay out of their box. We have Goblins, Night Goblins with their spinning loons, and then Orc Auror Boys, 2 Orc Barbarians. We have a Giant to protect the Night Goblin War Boss who has his Tormentor Sword and Rampage. And is there no caster? My word! There's no caster. Worst Professor with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Worst Professor. And I'm going to read your little message for me here. Man, I love Human Boy Yes Yes, and I love all of his rants. He is so great. You're welcome, chat. Oh, thanks, dude, that's so wholesome. Thank you for saying all those nice things. You definitely didn't say anything mean. Thanks, dude. All right, the artillery battle is on, as Worst Professor actually said that I should stop ranting and focus up. So the Greenskins, really punishing the tight formations of Grand Cathay. I often say that about the Elves, but Cathay also stands very close together, making them fresh targets for any AoE type of damage, including artillery. Probably want to switch targets onto things with more models, just to do maximum damage, as the Skyjunk is firing back. But pretty soon, Airstrikes is going to realize that he's getting outshot badly, and he's going to need to move up. Because he actually has a superior melee force. His Jade Warriors and Peasant Longspears should beat up some basic Goblins and Night Goblins. Zhao Ming is going to get in here, probably uses Breath Attack down the line of whoever he clumps up to get maximum damage. Somebody tell Airstrikes the Blimp doesn't count as attacking. His Onyx Croman are moving up. Yeah, I was factoring that in. Onyx Croman, we're setting up the flank. Also, his army is marching forward slowly, so we're good. I like that from Airstrikes. His Onyx Croman didn't overcommit. Like, they just got in, did a little bit of damage and left. This one was trying to, but then it got Fermented Fungi rampaged. And, oh, the Greenskins are going to take them out. They blob up really hard for that breath attack, though. Skyjunk still firing away, but the Catapult's doing really good work. Already took out one Jade Warrior crossbow. And they are switching targets slowly but surely onto other ones. And still, Cathay marches upwards. Zhao Ming had to transform into the sky to get away from the giant, who was apparently whooping on him while we weren't looking. And Cathay is at a disadvantage here. Greyheart, 3,000 damage value to the 1,100 of Grand Cathay. That is actually really, really tough for Cathay here. As they march up. Zhao Ming again diving in, just get a little bit of damage out. Maybe can terror out these Orc Boys. And the Onyx Croman are waiting in the distance. Probably with already half health on these Onyx Croman, you just want to use them to harass whoever routes anyway, just to keep them routing. And if Orc Biggins try and chase you, can just get up into the sky if your micro's on point. But there's the Tormentor's Sword, netting Zhao Ming in place so that the Giant can charge into him. And despite of the Bad Moon, buffed up Orc Biggins can charge him as well. Now, Zhao Ming famously has a very powerful heal, but you're not used to using it this early in the game. One positive, if you're looking for a silver lining, is he doesn't often get to use it, because if he's the last thing alive and then it procs, it usually procs when he's so close to dead he gets army lost. So, glass half full, at least he's probably going to get his heal this game, guys. Woo! Orc Boy still chasing him off, getting little pokes here and there as he runs away. As well as just being a distraction Carnifex. And the box formation does need to be abandoned at this point. Not need to. Need to, such a strong word. It implies that he's doing something like wrong, but like tactics-wise, you're defending one Jade Warrior crossbow, which is going to get outshot by the Orc Boys and all these catapults. You have to leverage your advantage in all your heavy infantry, because your infantry is better than the Greenskins, and right now they're defending nothing, so you got to get out there, you got to like do stuff, because right now most of your army is defending a 1/4 health Jade Warrior crossbow. Zhao Ming got netted back into the giant and these guys. He popped his heal. His ward save is still lasting for a little bit. He's taken so much damage. And look at that, 6,000 damage value to 2,000 if I round both of them up. Jade Warrior crossbows are trying to come back. The Skyjunk is firing at something. I don't know what it's firing at. But it's gotten 700 value, which isn't great. Spinning Loons down the line of the Peasant Longspears. Deleting a Peasant Longspear with that cast. Brutal stuff here from the Greenskins. Taking apart Grand Cathay. Zhao Ming is down and out. He's going to get thumped by the giant. Thump him, giant. Thump him. He's not going to get thumped by the giant. Or is he going to get thumped by the giant? This is all I care about now. This is my entire life now. He's down to 130 HP. Giant, hurry up. No! He died before the giant could thump him. Why? Why do we live in such a cruel world where giants don't thump? So Zhao Ming's dead. Several of the Jade Warrior crossbows have been routed a bunch. This one's routed so many times it even shatters. And now the Boar Boy Biggins even going to charge into these poor Jade Warrior crossbows as they just try And rally. Another spinning loon down the line through the Jade Warrior halberds. Oh my god, look at that health bar. Look at that health bar. Half HP gone. Just like that, it is gone, brother. 7,000 gold value versus 2,500. The rocks are still raining in. The Greenskins don't need a caster. They don't need nothing to tear apart Grand Cathay. And this lady is still just pulling the strings, banging the drums, keeping everybody's courage up as they are obliterated by the green tide. Who would win, Son of the Dragon Emperor or a random giant hobo? Giant hobo! Look at him! I wouldn't want to fight him. He's swinging a tree. More spinning loons tearing apart Grand Cathay to cause army losses, and the War Drum doesn't even realize it needs to retreat as it just sits here banging the drums. As the army routes, it's like, nah, I'll keep doing my thing. Boom, boom, boom. Giant lore fists. That was a very creative build from Greyheart. That was very creative. I mean, I always think a caster is worth it. I can't get behind not having a caster. It's such a huge thing. But, like, the concept, the strategy. In this strategy game we know and love, the strategy was sound. Strategy having strategy ass. Alright, Onyx did send us a replay during that, so we got another game to cast right away. There is no downtime. My dear 68 viewers, do not leave. I know. I know. You're sitting there, you're just like, please, let me out of here. Fuck this noise. I have to send Greyheart a Gandalf meme because he didn't even know we were spectating. I sent him Elrond. I was there, Gandalf. 3,000 years ago. Alright, we have some Vanguard shenanigans, so I paused it. 1 second. 1 second. So this replay was from round 1. This is Onyx versus Eagle Crump. I believe Onyx is Kislev in this case, because neither of them have the same Discord name as Steam, so fuck if I know who this is. He expected the war drum? Yeah, dude. Alright, for Kislev, maybe the strongest faction in the entire game, definitely up there. We have Tsarina Katerin, a Patriarch with his heel, and then some heavy war sleds as well. We have some Kosovo dervishes in the vanguard. Then we have a front line of Kislev warriors, a back line of Kosovars and spears, a very straightforward build. What does the Tsarina Katerin have? Oh, she's on her ice sled. She's not on her Frostworm, which she usually is. Frostfang, Little Summon, Heart of Winter, and Deathfrost. Cool. On the other side, for the Wood Elves, we have Durthu, Glade Riders, Hawk Riders, and then a stalwart straight line of troops. Glade Guard mixed with Dryads, mixed with War Dancers, and Blade Singers. A very diverse Wood Elf build. We do have Durthu, of course. Durthu bringing all of his spells. Eagle Crump, if you are watching the stream. Here's a general rule of thumb. Bring a maximum of 2 spells on a caster. Maximum of 3 spells total if you insist. If you have 2 different casters, fine, you can have 3 spells. If you have 1 caster, 2 spells. Why? Because you're never going to get use out of all 6 of them. You have a limited amount of Winds of Magic. It only regenerates so quickly. Oh, there's some Streltsy I missed. Anyway, it only regenerates so quickly. Realistically, you're not going to be able to, like, Amber Spear, and then Wisdom's Wild Form, and then Pan's and Punishable Belt, and then a Curse of Honor here, and then a Flock of Doom, and then another Amber Spear. It's like, you're going to run out of mana. So if you want a damage spell, just bring Flock of Doom, or just Amber Spear. Don't bring both. If you want a buff spell, bring Wisdom's Wild Form, or Pan's Belt. Not both. They'll save you some money. FYI. But enough feedback, enough advice in this new player tournament. All we want is violence, so let's do violence then. Let's turn our brain offs and just do violence. God forbid we care in this strategy game about strategy or optimization. No, human boy. We just want big chachungas and damage, so let's just watch the damage. Oh, she's shooting an ice bow into the Glade Riders. So fucking fun, you guys. We're all having fun. Oh, guns are shooting at hawks. Wow. Peak content. That's it. I'm turning the stream off. YouTubers only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. Alright, I'll get serious. Nice job clumping up the Glade Riders by attacking them in melee and then throwing a Frost Fang down on them. That's going to do really, really nice damage. That was a good combo here from Tsarina Katerin. As the Wood Elves do need to keep moving, but it looks like they are marshalling their forces on the high ground now, setting up a little bit of a defensive formation, firing backwards into the Cosfied Dervishes they just noticed are trying to flank them. But their skirmishers slipped a little bit in micro. Now the Hawk Riders are trying to get to safety, and these Glade Riders are getting away, but they lost one Glade Rider while they're reorganizing their formation. But they're trading it for a Cosfied Dervish, so far both sides taking a bit of damage here and there. Dervishes, Bar of Blood, going to keep them unbreakable, charging into the Glade Guard for just a little bit. But Glade Guard, some of the best Elven archers, actually some of the best archers in the game. And with 27 melee defense, they really aren't that scared, and they even withstand the Cosfied charge. So Dervish traded for a Glade Rider, but Disaster Strikes in the distance. The Hawk Riders could not find safety, and Streltsy plus the Heavy War Sleds rout them off, and that is 1,000 gold gone. That is much more concerning. All right, Durthu challenging Kislev to fight him IRL. And the Glade Guard are trying to fire back. Do they have Fire at Will on? I don't think they have Fire at Will on, because they are not shooting back right now. So definitely need to have Fire at Will on. A Heart of Winter dissuades these other Glade Guard from supporting Durthu, so now Durthu is alone. He realizes that and tries to get back towards his formation as the Heart of Winter was zoning them away. But the Glade Guard not having Fire at Will on is a bit of a disaster. Now they get attack orders to shoot back, but they could have been shooting back the whole time. Look how much damage they do! Oh, they could have been shooting back this whole time! Fuck. Well, I'll leave it alone. I won't harp on it too much. It's a new player tournament. Mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. We're all going to calm down. Dryads are slapping Kislevite warriors at the moment, and man, the Glade Guard are roasting Kislevite Kossars with spears. Durthu's trying to hold back the tide with some Dryad support of his own, but Tsarina is in with her crazy war sled, goes plowing through the Wood Elf archer lines like the Grail Knights of old. She cannot be stopped by mortal man. And in comes the other dervishes, the ones that were not massively deteriorated by archer fire on the way in. They get a good charge onto Blade Singers. Now, Blade Singers will eat these guys for breakfast. Blade Singers are incredible melee combatants. They're weak to a lot of things, but Light Horseman is not one of them. But they and the Snow Leopard are doing some good disruption. Meanwhile, the Heavy War Sleds had an ill-advised charge uphill into War Dancer Azrai Spears, and it looks like they paid for that in blood. They'll retreat to the Patriarch to get some healing and just keep kiting out for the rest of their days. Tsarina Katerin is avoiding Durthu, though she's running low on ammunition. The Wood Elves are a little down in the balance of power. Just a little bit. As the Sword of Death kills the Kassa Spears. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of Dryads to fear. Doop-a-doop-doo. I don't know the rest of the song. Moving on. Dryads still holding the line as the Kislevite warriors get caught up on them here and there. We still have some other dervishes. We have one full health dervish that was forgotten in the woods, and it is showing up now. So both sides making a couple mistakes in this here new player tournament. We aren't trying to single anybody out. We aren't trying to make anybody feel bad. We're just pointing some stuff out. Glade Guard are going to try and dodge a Frost Fang. No, they were just repositioning to shoot, so they get hit with the Frost Fang. And actually, the balance power is pretty close. We got ourselves a pretty close game. Dervishes are coming back. Katerin is just going to become a melee chariot, which needs to be careful. If she ever gets stuck, I mean, we saw what happened to the Heavy War Sleds when they charged those War Dancer Azrai Spears, so getting caught in melee armor-piercing infantry is not cool, brother. Oh, the Hawk Riders are back! The Eagles, Gandalf! The Eagles are back! Actually, Eagles and Hawks are different. They're not the same, so you can't shush, nerd. The Eagles are back. And the Eagles are slamming some Streltsy. As the Streltsy turn around and go, what the fuck? Pull out their axes and they'll make short work of those super wounded Hawk Riders, but it was amusing while it lasted. Now the Blade Singers are going to chew through infinite Kislevite infantry, but the Kossfight Dervishes are on the back line. They're routing off Glade Guard in several different areas, and these Glade Guard are unfortunately helpless. They're going to try and fire a couple volleys to at least hurt the Dervishes, but there's no one to help them back here. They are doomed. Dryads are also running out of a bit of gusto, as the Wood Elves went very heavy on the archers. Streltsy are trying to tee off onto Durthu, get some armor-piercing shots into his back so the Tsarina doesn't have to deal with it all by herself. But Kislev has plenty of unbreakable halberds left in the game here. I don't think they'll be worried about Durthu in the late game at all. Glade Riders almost out of ammunition. They'll become light cavalry just like our Cosified Dervish friends. And the Glade Guard just trying to get a couple shots off here and there where they can. The heavy war sleds are tired of their nonsense. And the mounted Kislevite forces roll through the Wood Elves like an angry tide. One might even say a dark tide. A Warhammer 40k dark tide. Go, Bears, go! Go, Bears, go! Lots of Wood Elves are routing. All of a sudden, the balance power takes a giant dip towards army losses. Bladesingers still courageously fighting, skewering Kislevite warriors. But it doesn't matter. They're without support. Durthu's taken a lot of damage, they've taken a lot of damage, and a full health, no ammunition Glade Rider does not a carry make. Why are all their capes going straight up? Anybody else see that? Anybody else seeing these capes? Wild. Wild stuff. There go the Bladesingers, there goes Durthu, there goes army losses. Jumbo hasn't given me any advice when I played. Fireball Phoenix, when was the last time you played? I'll wait. I'll wait. Never. One out of 100 chance now that I see the deployments. Damn, Jack. Missed opportunity on kitty cat sleds not to be pulled by bears. I see. Like a month and a half ago, Fireball, we miss you. Get back in it, brother. You know where to find us. Every week. Every week we have a new player tournament. Unless I get sick of it, which we're on number 72, so your time's running out if you want to get in on these things, because there won't be many more. I won't reveal too much more, but let's just say this is the last new player tournament I'm hosting. Fuck you. All right. It was a fun game. It was a silly game. The builds were wild. The Glade Guard, I think this kind of build can work, but the Glade Guard need to be more spread out. So when I talk about this a lot with Skaven, but here, I'll give you a little advice. This is serious advice. Well, okay, let's do Wood Elves just because that was the example we were dealing with, right? Okay, do I have a Lord? Yeah. Masked Twist sent me a game. Rude. Okay. So something I see a lot in primarily heavy range builds. Now this is a tougher strategy to pull off in general, so maybe a new player tournament isn't the best place to talk about it, but still it is something I see and I talk to people a lot when they ask me for feedback on ranged factions. So if you've been around Warhammer for a while, you'll know Inticity. He used to be really good at Vampire Coast, and he would have his backline defend itself. And the concept is largely that if you keep them spaced out, like these guys currently are, if these skeleton horsemen charge me, which they should be, I thought I put them on attack mode, but I guess I didn't. Oh, they're probably on the sandbox difficulty. Whatever. Okay, ignore them for a second, but if your opponent attacks you here, you are spaced out enough that this guy, and then even this guy can reach him, I think. If I turn, where's your green thing? Yeah, he can reach him. The range is there. So now you can have 3 ranged units turn and light up these fucking horsemen, who are probably as expensive, if not more expensive, than your archers, because usually horsemen are paying for speed, so they're usually more expensive than your archers, right? So you're trading, at worst, 1 archer for 1 horseman, which is a good trade for you value-wise, or 1 zombie handgun mob, one Poisonwind Globadier, one Empire Huntsman, whatever it is, right? You're trading 1 for 1, which is usually beneficial to you. Also, you're probably not trading 1 for 1, because usually 3 archers can out DPS 1 horseman, so probably this Glade Guard's going to be half HP, maybe 1/3 HP, but he's still around, the horseman isn't, and he can still get a lot of shots off in the late game, right? So you generally want a position with enough space that your ranged units can reach your other ranged units, but they're not near them. And then follow-up, the worst thing you can do, the worst thing you can do when you're playing this specific strategy is have skirmish mode on. Or manually skirmish. You don't want to do that. Your whole point is you're taking cheaper archers to drag down more expensive units while they get shot by your other archers, right? That's your whole plan. The worst thing you can do is have skirmish mode on, or you personally try and kite, and you pull back into your own troops, so then you have some overlap, and all of a sudden those skeleton horsemen, it's not like they're going to walk up to your archers and just like stop like right here and attack your archers. Some of them spill through, and when some of them spill through, 1 or 2 of them are going to touch these guys, and as soon as these guys get touched, they're going to go into melees. Now 2 of your archers are fucked, and even if this archer wasn't fucked by a random skeleton horseman going through him, he's too close to fire, so you're fucking everything up. So that's the biggest thing when I talk to people about this is stay spaced out. You are spaced out for a reason. Stay that way. If you end up clumping up, if you're well-intentioned, you're like, oh, I'm going to back up with this Glade Guard so that his horsemen have to work for it. No! You're pulling the horsemen into your other fucking guys. Stay there. You set up in this way for a reason. Stay there. Also, don't run the fuck away, because then you're out of range of your other archers. There's no point. They can't defend each other more. You have to hold formation. And it's something I really try to drill into people, especially with Skaven, where it's like, oh, I'm going to lose my Poisonwind Globe. It's 650 gold. Fuck that shit. Kill that Chaos Knight. The Chaos Knight's 1,400 gold. You're winning that trade. And don't run. Don't run into your formation. Don't run away from your formation. You put them in the perfect spot for a reason. Leave them in the perfect spot. They're there. Shoot them. So, anyway. There you go. The Undead are especially good at that, and why Anticity was so good at it is because the Undead are unbreakable. So they take forever to kill, and they sit there and just bog down horsemen while all the other handguns light them up. So the Undead are especially good at that strategy, but it works with Skaven, works with Wood Elves, works with High Elves. You actually, if you've been watching my streams recently, I play a decent amount of High Elves these days, and I just Lothern Seaguard and Archer spam, but that's what I'm doing. High Elves have insane melee stats when their Martial Prowess is active, so you have Archers over here. These archers have 12, so they have 26 melee defense. Lothern Seaguard have 44 melee defense. So when a cavalry charges these guys, they're going nowhere. And my other 8 archers turn and light them up. This is actually the last build I was running, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So I just have my archers spaced out, and it's like, go ahead, compromise my backline. See how that goes for you. Fuck you. There you go. Hopefully that was helpful to some of you. To some of you, you're bored as shit. And for those people, let's move on. Alrighty. Hayseed versus Rue. I believe Rue is Onyx. So this is in the winner's bracket. Mask Glade Guard is one of my favorite Wood Elf builds. Yeah. That's me, Wood Elf. I got excited, panicked, forgot to take the safety off. Chaos Crumpin', that's alright, dude. Your opponent also made some mistakes that I tried to point out so it didn't feel like I was just ragging on you. Like, he forgot his Costify Dervishes in the forest for, like, literally the whole game. Mask Glade Guard is really good at peeling each other, and he died in the set. Humboy new player tournament. Also, Humboy, you're fucking everything up. Yeah. Alright, boys. What do we got? So Kislev is back on the side of Onyx, but Khorne is facing them. We have Bloodletters and Exalted Bloodletters running straight at them, one of which is the Hellforged Host. We have 1 Minotaur with Great Weapon, a Herald of Khorne for some buffs, and his Motorcycle of Disruption, and 2 Chaos Furies. For Kislev, we have a Patriarch with his Heal once again, Heavy Warsled and Katerin once again. Kisvite Warrior frontline backed up by a Kossars, some Streltsy, and 1 Costify Dervish. Bloodletters will massacre the Kislevite frontline. It will not even be close. The Halberdiers, unfortunately, anti-large and arm-piercing is wasted against these angry demons of Khorne. And the angry demons of Khorne are more than happy to rip through all of these poor peasants. Look at that one. Dire Blood is popped, and he might just die while Dire Blooded. Streltsy getting rear-attacked by Chaos Furies while Bloodletters push in. The Dervishes abandon their post and flee, leaving the Streltsy to the demon hordes as they shoot some of the Bloodletters in the face, but it is a noble but doomed effort, as the Bloodletters will be feasting good tonight. The Herald of Khorne is in the middle, the Hellforged hosts are here, and Katerin is having to deal with the angry, great axe-wielding Minotaurs that she is so desperately trying to get away from, though some of them are occasionally blocking her up. She will overall get to safety in her Snow Leopard summon. Would get rocked super fast by these guys, but it looks like they're going to ignore those guys and go on to the Wolfhearts, who I didn't even notice were here. They're so sneaky, I didn't even see them. And the Minotaurs barely touch them for a second, then run away and leave it to the Exalted Bloodletters. They instead are going to rear charge the heavy war sleds and the Patriarch. A better use of their time, I must say. The Hellforged host is barely clinging to leadership, as they are getting multiple leadership buffs from the Herald that keeps them alive. There's no healing for them, however, not on this roster. So they will slowly fade away into nothingness, but man, the heavy war sleds are taking a lot of damage. So are the Dervishes, so is the Patriarch. The Minotaurs are eating good in the neighborhood. Bloodletter's going to chase down the Akshina ambushers. The balance of power is against Khorne. I guess we have lost a lot of Bloodletters to demonic instability, but I'm not sold just yet. I think Khorne tactically is doing just fine. They've compromised a lot of the enemy ranged. They've got a really good blob fight going in the middle that is benefiting them a ton. I think Khorne is doing just fine. Balance of power be damned, and it is even moving back towards the middle. As I am saying that it is full of shit, it seems to be realizing that and agreeing with me. The Patriarch is going to die. The Warsled is dead. The Cosmic Dervishes are shattered, and that is a fake Snow Leopard that will fade away now. Auction Ambushers continue to run away as the Tsarina tries to peel for them, charging through the Bloodletters of Khorne, knocking them down. There goes the Patriarch. Khorne has won the central fight. On the flanks, Kislev was prevailing up here for a bit, but now the Streltsy are once again under attack by Furies. Not enjoying that. They will rout soon, or at least get their Dire Blood popped. And elsewhere, Exalted Bloodletters are cleaving through Kossars like nobody's business. It's looking tough to be a Kislevite. Ooh, is that a Sword of Khorne? Sword of Khorne! We barely caught it! We barely caught it! It wouldn't be a Human Boy Yes Yes Khorncast if I wasn't obsessed with the Sword of Khorne, and I almost missed it, but I didn't. I got there in time. Speaking of being in time, Katerin is out of it. Katerin is out of time as she tries to run away from the Minos. She Death Frosts the Herald while she runs away, but there's so many Bloodletters. There's even all these Minotaurs left. And it is really just Katerin here. One super dead Kislevite warrior does not an army make. The Bloodletters are going to cleave through these guys, but Katerin will come to the rescue. We're going to go into cinematic mode, but they turn and try and fight. It was a fool's effort to stop that ice chariot as it just goes skirting through them. Tokyo drift those fools, and Bloodletters go flying in every direction. Taking so much damage, but speaking of damage, I mean, so are the Kislevite warriors. And Tsarina, realizing she can't just path through these Minotaurs. Oh, God! Oh, Jesus Christ! No! Not like this! As the mighty Tsarina, leader of Kislev, gets army lost. Fireblood keeps her in the game barely, but her health was dropping so fast. Kislev should have brought out all their sleds right away and played Disruption. Khorne's running up. It's for real estate. Yeah. Lucky the blade landed at all. It's called the Blade of Khorne? It's the Sword of Khorne. No way it's Blade of Khorne. I've been saying sword this whole time. It's sword. It's sword 100%. Don't you lie to me, son. Don't you lie to me. Tsarina did very well. The rest of her forces, not so much. Khorne isn't going to respect. She was last to die. Wow, the Upchain Ambushers actually got a lot of value considering how quickly I felt like Khorne got onto him. So that was in the winner's bracket. Both those are still in the tournament. But speaking of... Hey, Seed. Hey, Seed, how dare you? This is... Okay. So... Sorry, I got some messages. What up? So here's what I don't like. I don't like when people come into my tournaments and cheat. I don't like it. I don't like cheaters. And here's the problem. Is Twist versus Eagle Crump. Okay. Yeah, that's Eagle Crump. Sure, that looks like his little Discord name. Yeah, sure. I believe it. Only Hayseed takes fucking Kolek Suneater. Only Hayseed takes Kolek Suneater. This isn't Eagle Crump. This is bullshit. This is Hayseed smurfing for his friend. Eagle Crump went to him. He said, hey man, I will give you $17 if you fight Twist for me. Please don't make it obvious that it's you though. Like, it's like I'm copying your homework. Like, don't make it obvious you copied my homework. And Hayseed's like, don't worry, dude, I got it. I'll take Kolek Suneater. But instead of Dragon Ogres, I'll take a Giant and some Chaos Spawn. And Eagle Crump's like, perfect. Human Boy will never suspect that I got Hayseed to play for me. I suspect everything. This motherfucker is Hayseed. No way that's Eagle Crump. Alright, jokes aside, jokes. Hayseed likes Kolek. That was the whole joke. Many ha-has were had. Moving on. So we have Twist versus Kolek. That is a Flamestorm. What? Flamestorm was cast underneath the Necrarch Vampire Lord. A bit of a whoopsie there, because that is a multi-entity killing spell, like infantry and stuff. It would not affect your dragon, even if it managed to hit him very much. Khorne cares not where the blade is called, only that it's called. Alright, for the armies, the Undead, we have Spirit Leech, Invocation of Nehek, and the Zombie Summon. We have some Vargheists up in the sky. I saw another Kolek spell thrown out randomly. It's scary. You're trying to snipe out flying units with those types of spells. That is risky business, my friend. We have other Vargheists as well. Crypt Horrors, Zombies, a Skeleton Spear in frontline, a Mortis Engine, and a Corpse Cart with the Unholy Lodestone. On the other side for Chaos, we have some Chaos Chariots. Kolek Suneater, who's piling straight in. Chaos Giant, a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire with Burning Head and Flamestorm. Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons, Forsaken, and Chaos Spawn. I think I mentioned the Spawn, I'm not sure. Chaos Chariots getting caught up by Vargheists. Not much they can do. The Vargheists are faster, armor-piercing, and have really good mass. The Chariots can't escape. They are dying in the distance, but for now, Kolek is bunker-busting. Ran straight through the Spearmen to try and break their charge defense. Get the Chaos Spawn in, uncontested. Now, Kolek might want to opt out a little bit. He is in deep, very deep. Ooh. Oh, if the Flamestorm hadn't been used at the very start, it could be used right now. But hey, we get a Burning Head! Burning Head. Burning Head. Through the zombies. Burning Head. That's a solid Burning Head. Half HP off of 5 undead units. Very, very nice. Kolek is overextended, though. He's taking a lot of damage, and a nice breath attack in from the Necrarch Lord is going to be pretty tough. Kolek pops all of his buffs. I wonder what he's going to swing at. What's most important is that he just swings, though. I've seen too many times Kolek pops all of his buffs and then just T-poses around because he's like an inch too far away from what he wants to attack. As it descends into a blob fight of madness, some Vargheists got caught out fighting these Marauders, and the Marauders and Forsaken won that fight handedly, but they need to be given new orders to get back into the fight, though maybe they don't want to join this fight, because this fight is a giant pile on top of a Mortis Engine that is slowly trying to drain them down. The Firecaster is attempting to escape from the Vargheists, and the Chaos Chariots actually survive, so good for them. Good for them, man. The Blob is unholy. The Blob is unstoppable, and Kolek is still hanging out in the middle. Chaos is falling behind a little bit, but a couple Burning Heads, a couple Flamestorms could fix all that, so I wonder if this Firecaster can get off any more spells or if he is just going to die. It looks like he is loping away to safety. We will get back into the sky and be okay for now. Chaos Spawn's still trying to fight it out, but the Mortis Engine is draining. Not as much as I honestly would have thought, but, you know, it's working on it. It's getting there. Hayseed still... Not Hayseed. I'm so used to... I can't even call him Kolek Suneater. It's just Hayseed incarnate. Kolek's fighting it out. Doing his damnedest. Breath attack in from the Necrarch Lord. Unfortunately, backfires a little bit and actually hits more zombies than it does hit the Chaos troops. The Firecaster is routed, and that is a disaster for the Forces of Chaos, because with this giant blob going on, Burning Head and Flamestorm were really their last hope to win, as Kolek tries his best to change the course of things. His Bound Thunderbolt did really good damage to the Vargheists. I like that cast a lot. The first couple casts of spells, like in the skirmish phase, were a little rough, but when the fight actually started, then the targeting was a lot better, so I appreciate that. Kolek's going to fight back for what he's worth, but his health is just too low. He can get good shots on the Necrarch Lord all he wants. It will not matter in the end. Because you can't out-blob fight the Undead. Unless you're Nurgle, or Demons of Chaos, or the Empire, or Dwarves, or Lizardmen. Besides those factions, you can't out-blob fight the Vampire Counts. Good try, though. Good try, though, Mr. Crump of the Eagle variety. To be fair, I thought it was Fireball. Oh, yeah. When is there another Gladiator game mode? I don't know, whenever I get off my lazy ass and do it. You may not like it, but a blob fight is what peak tactics looks like. Yeah. Not Hayseed. I know, Grumpin. I know. I fucked up. I'm so used to him playing Kolek. Vargeist got good value. Mortis Engine got a little bit. Didn't get as much as I honestly would have thought, but the Crypt Horrors did well. Skeleton Spearman did well, and the Necrarch Lord did great. For Eagle Crumpin. Kolek did pretty well. Marauders and Forsaken struggled a bit more. Chaos Spawn also struggled, and the Giant was doing okay, but the game just ended around him. But he still, you can see he had plenty of health, so Giant was doing all right. I don't hate the build. I just think you had too many infantry. I'd probably cut basic Marauders. If you have Marauders of Khorne and Forsaken, I'd cut some of the basic Marauders and get some skirmish cavalry, and then cut the Chariot. Chariots aren't generally good right now at all, but when they are good, they're good at disrupting ranged units, which Vampire Counts don't have any. So I'd cut like 2 of the basic Marauders in the Chaos Chariot and get 2 or 3 of those skirmish cavalry that have the javelins. Marauder Horsemen or Horsemasters, whichever you prefer. Those are just generally good versus the Undead. So, yeah. I don't hate it. I just optimize it a little bit. With hate, all things are possible. The tournament is slamming right along. So let's hurry up, I guess. We got to play some catch up. Greyheart versus Rue. That is Greyheart versus Onyx. And once again, we are still in the lower bracket here, so both these players fighting for their tournament lives to stay in it. So far, we salute the fallen of 1001 Airstrikes and Eagle Crump. They're both out of the tournament at this moment. I mean, more people out of the tournament in real time, but not as far as you guys have seen, because we're in replay mode! We're in the past, motherfucker! Greyheart back on his Greenskins versus Rue and his Kislev. How does Rue keep getting Kislev? Someone explain to me how this man keeps getting Kislev. Zombies also have good mass? Yeah. Alrighty. For the Greenskins of Greyheart, we have some Orc Auror Boys, Orc Biggins, Orc Boys, Goblins in the front line, not the Spear variant, just the little Sword variant. Then we have Azhag the Slaughterer up on Skullmuncher. He brought Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, Azhag's Armor, Slaga Slashes, and Get On With It. That's a lot of buffs. That is an expensive Azhag. Then we have 3 Orc Boar Biggins. On the other side, for Kislev, we have Tsarina Katerin, though this time she is on her Frost Worm mount, still has Death Frost and Heart of Winter to punish blobs or single entities, respectively. Heavy War Sled, frontline of Kislevite Warriors, backline of Kossars, plus some Streltsy, the Wolf Hearts, and Winged Lancers this time. 2 Winged Lancers. Some of the very strong cavalry of Kislev. Though they do need to use the most out of their glorious charge, they really can't stay and fight for too long. They just need to use that oppressive charge bonus and then get out of there. Beautiful frontline charge, taking out the Goblins from the Heavy War Sled and the Tsarina. Then they're going to back off as the Orc Boar Biggins chase them. But this is where we need a lot of ranged punish to come in. Streltsy and the Kossars have got to turn and fight these Orc Boar Biggins, or all is for naught. Also, the Winged Lancers do have to get a little more aggressive. They have to charge out there and get some free damage onto the infantry that are coming in. Winged Lancers charge uphill. They get really good damage onto the Force Goblin Spider Riders and the Orc Boys. But need to be careful. If these Orc Boar Biggins get a downhill charge onto them, that will still be a very bad time for them. Still have Pack Traps. I wonder if the Pack Traps are used, actually. I don't remember if they have 3 or 2 casts at the start. First Wah is out, however, so I'll refocus. A Heart of Winter is trying to kill some Orc Boys for now, but a big Wah on one side should take out these Winged Lancers. It looks like the backline of Kislev is about to be disrupted as more Orc Boys of the Green Tide pile in. There's only so many Kislevite troops that can stop them. This right flank is going much better for Kislev than the left or even the center, to be honest. But the right flank is a good point of strength. The Wolfhearts are being kept safe. It looks like the Orc Borbigans are peeled off sufficiently, so we should have a good little firing line back here for Kislev to rely on. Something terrible has happened to Tsarina, though, while we were covering that. Spirit Leeches from Azhag, but it looks like she just got surrounded by the Broken Tusk Mob and attacked by Azhag all at the same time, so she took a lot of damage. And she can get some decent healing if she gets back near the Patriarch. He still has all 3 uses of Silix Lullaby, and he does need to get up here and use that, especially now that his Heavy War Sleds and Tsarina are taking damage. Looks like he got the Lullaby off, but it only hit Tsarina. It did not hit the Heavy War Sleds quite, so not super efficient there. Still a good heal to get onto Tsarina, but I would also like to see it on the War Sleds, who are caught napping. They're not moving, and I complain about skirmish chariots being OP all the time, but chariots that are not moving are very easy to kill. If they're moving, they're nearly impossible to hit, but sitting still, doomed. So they are taking a lot of damage. Balance of power is in the Greenskins' favor by a bit, and I would definitely agree, but Kislev has room to come back, depending on how much healing the Patriarch can get out, how much shooting the Streltsy and the Wolfhearts can do. Wolfhearts are trying to reform, but we do have Orc Borbigans coming back in with their second Wah, and even Azhag lands with the second Wah. He's going to try and kill the Patriarch. Going to focus on the healing of Kislev before fully sniping out Tsarina. Does throw a Spirit Leech at her just for the sake of it, but Patriarch is a piss-poor melee combatant, so Azhag feels pretty confident he can take him, especially with the Broken Tusk Mob supporting him. Balance power continues to get worse for Kislev as Goblins and Orc Borbigans disrupt the limited shooting that Kislev managed to keep online. And at this point, I don't know what Kislev can do. I mean, I know the balance power looks pretty bad, and I would definitely agree. I just don't know how they kill all this infantry that are left. Like, even if a miracle happens, Tsarina Katerin 1v1s Azhag and somehow kills him, there is a lot of mushroom boys left for Tsarina to deal with. And it looks like she will just throw in the towel. Greatheart will stay alive in this tournament. After a frustrating round 1 loss to Empire, Greatheart, I have advice for you. Just ban the OP factions. Anyway, after a very frustrating loss to getting kited by Empire in Game 1, he has had a good lower bracket run with Greenskins, beating up on Grand Cathay, beating up on Kislev. It looks like he is determined to beat every overpowered faction in the game with Greenskins, because so far tonight he has fought Empire, Grand Cathay, and Kislev. I give these players bans. I don't know what he's using them on. He's just entering the game like, fuck it, ban Slaanesh and Khorne. Let's rumble, bitch. And they can just take whatever they want. Are orcs mushrooms in fantasy? Yes. Ban Norsca every week. Why would you ban Norsca? Everybody loves Norsca. What is this? Who's out here banning Norsca? That's illegal. It's not actually illegal, but it's illegal. Come on. Come on, you don't just ban Norsca. Hayseed versus Propofano. Not the narrative I want to talk about. So, we're going to cast this one. Twist versus Johnny Cash. This is also in the lower bracket. Hayseed and Propofano is up top, so we ain't talking about that yet. These two still fighting for their lives. The winner of this goes to fight Greyheart, the Greenskin. It's Twist and Johnny Cash, Cathay, and Old Cathay. My front line's unbreakable because we're zombies. My front line's unbreakable because of stats. Our cannons are kind of okay. Our cannons are the best in the entire game. Oh, fuck. We have a giant walker that sometimes damages cavalry. We have a giant walker that kills everything in one shot. And he reveals all stealth units in the game. Fuck you. Grand Cathay is just Vampire Coast, but better. Well, our faction's balanced around not having heavy cav. We also get heavy cav. Okay. Okay, enough being toxic. 4 Peasant Horsemen for Grand Cathay, 3 Grand Cannons. We have 2 Crane Gunners, 5 Peasant Archers, and then a very small front line of 5 Peasant Long Spears. Then Zhao with his Dragon's Breath. On the other side, for the Vampire Coast, we have Morngulls. Morgles. A bloated corpse, you'll love to see it. 5 deckhands mobs, a Necrofex Colossus, or just Zaytang, but bad. Then we have a Gaze of Nagash, Invocation Heckcaster, Sirens, Handgunners, 1 Deck Gunner, and double Carronade. I guess. Airstrikes does not appreciate me shit-talking his favorite faction. Cathay are good. Cathay are strong. Whew. Honestly, Coast are also in a pretty good spot right now, balance-wise. I think they're a very balanced faction. I just think this is a bad matchup for them. Like, Cathay does do a lot of the things the Coast does, but better. So, it's a little tough for the Coast here. Cannons firing. The Necrofex Colossus is going to hide in the trees while the other Vampire Coast tools move up, but those Grand Cannons still doing decent damage, even to a little Footcaster. But the Morngle flank is out. Oh no, bloated corpse! How dare you shoot this poor boy! He's just like, please. I cost more than your peasant long spears anyway. You still win the damage value trade even if you let me hit. As the Crane Gunners are not going to let the boy hit. He's crumbling. No! Ah, he's dead. He's fucking dead. Anyway, the Morgul flank is in. And the Vampire Coast cannons are in range. It doesn't look like Grand Cathay is firing back with all of its might. Grand Cathay's fire is divided. Which, if those cannons focus fire Cathay... Ooh, with a Gaze of Nagash. Really nice Gaze of Nagash cast. Knocks out the Grand Cathay cannons. Grand Cathay is down to 2. Still getting some decent damage out on the Deck Gunners, but they will need to counterfire the enemy Carronades at some point, or they will just get outshot. Now Zhao Ming is trying to get a cheeky little bit of damage here onto his lady friend, pushing her out of range of support. Ooh, and the Morgul flank is in! Pulled the trigger a little earlier than I would have thought, but he is in here. Morgul's causing terror, spooking around the Grand Cathay lines. Gets rid of 1 cannon, so 1 cannon is dead. Another cannon is currently routing. And the final one is also terror routing, so Grand Cathay unable to fire back right now against the Coast. It's a very innovative play here from the Vampire Coast. Zhao Ming falling back, throwing breath attacks as he goes, and his peasant archers are going to light up the Zombie Power Deckhands mob on their way in. But the peasant horsemen, ooh, yeah, this is a big problem. Big problem. There's nothing back here to defend the Carronades and the Deck Gunners, and there are 4 peasant horsemen. If any of the peasant horsemen can find time to sneak out here, that is like 2,500 value just waiting to die to the peasant horsemen. So it looks like he's going for that right now. Can he do it in time, or will he take too much damage on the way? Zhao Ming is taking a lot of damage, speaking of, but he does have that heal we mentioned before. It's not as big as it used to be, but still pretty big, pretty spooky heal. And Crane Gunners are currently firing back. They're getting shot at by Carronades, but they are firing at the Necrofex Colossus, just getting a little bit of damage out where they can. As Sirens crush into the Peasant Long Spearmen, and they're going to get shot by archers the whole time, so big damage into the Ghosty Ghosts. But where are those Peasant Horsemen we discussed earlier? Looks like the Cathay player is busy microing a million other things. He does need to keep these Peasant Horsemen moving if their flank is going to be worth it, so he's got to keep them going. Keep them moving. The Undead front line is getting broken. The Morgul flank is getting beat up by Peasant Horsemen paired up with Zhao Ming. It's good stuff there. All the cannons are offline. One of the Crane Gunners is offline, but we still have 5 Peasant Archers firing away on anything they get their hands on. These Peasant Horsemen continue to ride out. And here we go. The fate of the Undead will be decided. And how quickly can these Peasant Horsemen kill, like, literally all of their range units? Yeah! Boop. Deck Gunner's going down. Then it's both of the cannons' turn. Next, Necrofex Colossus looks to be safe-ish. The Crane Gunners should get taken out before they can kill the Necrofex, but Cathay is realizing that it's going to have to win this fight in melee, and they are now riding out. Their Peasant Horsemen doing a lot of disruption. The Peasant Longspears even fighting back against Sirens. And the Sirens just can't get through the Peasant Longspears nearly fast enough. This Peasant Horseman got through. One of the Deck Gunners is now working on a Carronade. We have some zombies trying to intercept the other Peasant Horseman, though it is a summon. It will only last for just a little bit. It fell out of the Necrophect's Colossus. It does turn backwards and does a little bit of friendly fire, but at this point he's thinking it's more worth it to just kill the Peasant Horseman. Sirens continue to fail at the most basic of tasks. I hate Sirens. I think they are garbage. If there's downtime, show them how to queue movement commands with right shift click. Okay. Still, I've got this one for the vampires? Maybe. What is a good matchup for Vampire Coast? Oh, Vampire Coast... I'm trying to think. I know there are some, but now I'm blanking on it. Oh, they're very good versus Dark Elves. Vampire Coast are very good versus Dark Elves. I think they're pretty... They're manageable versus Beastmen, which Beastmen are currently a strong faction. I think Coast is fine into Khorne. Coast is fine into Nurgle. Coast is fine into Slaanesh. Well, maybe not Slaanesh, because they just spam Chosen, but... I don't know. Coast have some good matchups. I'm having issues thinking of them right now, but that's more of me just being stupid on the spot. Oh, they're good versus Norsca. Tomb Kings is an even matchup, which isn't bad. Tomb Kings is a strong faction, so getting an even matchup is fine. High Elves is pretty tough. Empire's pretty tough. Dwarves is pretty tough. I wouldn't take any of those. You can what now? Yeah. They don't like bow lines. This is true. Oh, they're good versus Bretonnia. They're very good versus Bretonnia. So if you're ever having issues fighting Bretonnia, just pick Vampire Coast. You'll be big chillin'. Alright, pretty good game. Johnny Cash had some neat ideas. I liked it. The Morgul flank was very innovative. I didn't know they caused terror. That must have been an update at some point. And he had really good target priority at range. Twist had solid target priority. I mean, he won the game, so there's not too much to complain about, but I do think he misplayed with his cannons a bit and was overconfident that he would win the shooting game and took a lot of extra damage for it. And then the Morgul flank completely fucked his day. But then his cavalry play and his overall strong build carried him through the rest of the game, so he was fine. For Johnny Cash, I appreciate the bloated meme, but it was a meme that cost him pretty badly. And I guess the Necrophects is okay. I despise Sirens. I think Sirens are garbage. Because they have armor piercing, but their melee stats are too low to actually capitalize on it. So even if he had brought Jade Warriors instead of Peasant Long Spears, so even if he had an armored front line, their melee defense is so high that the Sirens, oh no, my 26 melee attack, still wouldn't get through the Jade Warriors. Like, not at all. When is another Grace Picks the Army video? Is that good? Which is better, Beastman with no Centaur or Coast with no Flyers? Coast with no Flyers is better than Beastman with no Centaurs. Because Coast Flyers aren't even that good right now. They're okay, but they're not that good. Centaurs are the best light cavalry in the entire game. Alright. So Mass Twist is fighting Greyheart right now. But this is the winners finals. Versus Hayseed. Determine who will go to the finals and who will drop down to the loser's bracket. Hayseed on the Warriors of Chaos not taking Kolek Suneater. This is fraudulent. Eagle Crump must have bullied him. He must have. Must have bullied him, stole his lunch money, took Kolek Suneater. Actually, that's it. He took Kolek Suneater. Hayseed went into his closet, like, what lord am I going to pick today? And his Kolek Suneater rack was just empty, and he's like, what the fuck? Where's my Kolek? Who took him? Alright. Skaven of Propofofolo versus Hayseed's Warriors of Chaos. Warriors of Chaos bringing in Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons, Marauders basic, and then we have some Forsaken in the front line, Chaos Trolls, and more Forsaken backing them up. We do have one Vanguard Dog, a single Spawn of Slaanesh, and then a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Death with Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech. For the Skaven side, however, we have Wolf Rats who immediately spot the flank coming and take them out. Elsewhere, we have Clan Rat Spears, Eshin Triads, Council Guard, Natty Boobo Sharpshooters, the Avalanche Mortars, more Poison Globes, and then Skaven Slaves in the front line with Ikit Claw. This is the other guy. There is no other guy. Avalanche Mortars switching targets often to make sure to spread out that damage. Avalanche Mortars do the most damage to full health targets, so it is often wise to switch them every single volley onto a different full health target and just do maximum deterrent damage. So the Chaos front line is falling apart before they even hit the front line. That is the Skaven way. Everybody loves Skaven. Nobody on the planet hates fighting Skaven. We all love it. This Ikit Claw is trying to provide a little bit of supporting fire, a brass orb to slow down the tides of chaos. Now with Skaven, you get very far ahead in the early game, and you need to see if you can hold on to it, as is the case here. Chaos is taking so much damage, but, I mean, if the Avalanche Porters die, if Natty Boobos die, that's almost 3,000 damage value off the battlefield, and it can happen super fast if they get caught, so I don't think these Chaos Trolls can afford to get stuck on Ikit. They need to keep moving. Someone has to shut down this Avalanche Mortar that continues to rain hell into the Warriors of Chaos. But here we go. Some Marauders have finally caught up to them, shutting down that Skaven damage and forcing this into a slower, grindier game that favors Chaos. They're trying to come back on the balance of power. In comes a Flensing Ruin. The Sorcerer, Lord of Death, does need to probably back off. Just doesn't want to debuff his own troops, so he should try and get to some safety. Looks like he's going to do that. He'll be fine. Skaven are starting to rout in mass. Still, the Avalanche Mortars trying to get to safety. Natty Boobo Sharpshooters have found somewhere to shoot for just a bit, but then some Chaos Trolls find them. Chaos Trolls not doing great on leadership, but enough to at least deter the Natty Boobos. Ikit is getting Spirit Leeched. Spawn still pushing through. Forsaken still pushing through. And the Globes somehow got away just barely, but looks like the Death Lord will find them and drag them down. Chaos is still very far down in the balance of power. Still haven't been able to actually kill Natty Boobos or the Avalanche Mortars. They just distracted them briefly, but it looks like those guys are back online. It looks like they're firing, and Chaos does have a couple forces that have rallied and need new movement orders back into the fight. Personally, if you care at all, I prefer Chaos Spawn over Chaos Trolls against Skaven. Because Skaven's shock damage is pretty good at getting Trolls to rout. And I know their regeneration is annoying, but still, I just think the stick-to-itiveness of Chaos Spawn is better than Trolls for fighting Skaven. If you want my opinion. If you don't want my opinion, then I don't know why you're watching my stream, but whatever. Just ignore me. Spawn of Slaanesh and Forsaken moving back in to keep trying to push Skaven down, but the Sorcerer Lord of Death still getting poked by the Natty Boobo Sharpshooters. Ikit Claw is down to half HP, so a couple more Spirit Leeches will rout him off. Council Guard still holding as the Spawn of Slaanesh try and jump into them, but the Council Guard are spooky scary if you're a large target. Ooh. I like this a lot, though. The Spawn just pile through them, taking a lot of damage, but still shutting down Natty Boobos. Better than standing on top of the Council Guard and taking damage. In come the Forsaken. Try and get over here, try and shut these guys down as the Trolls come in to support the Chaos Lord, who gets into a 1v1 fight with Ikit Claw, but there are Eshin Triads coming through. I don't know who wins this. I actually just don't know who wins this. In the long run, of course, the Triads, but I mean, if you snipe Ikit Claw, you can then run away and your Trolls can heal up. Meanwhile, a lot of the dangerous range of this game is finally getting shut down for real this time. Natty Boobos have routed. Avalanche Mortars are right behind them. But another big Flensing Ruin overcast onto the Sorcerer of Death, who is still trying to chase Ikit Claw around through some Clan Rat Spears. Whatever, they're just Clan Rats, who cares? Who cares about them? Chaos is proving tenacious in this battle. Forsaken are chewing up the Council Guard, affected by Soporific Musk from the Spawn of Slaanesh. There's not a lot that can chase down the forces of the Skaven right now. But this is really the game decider. Who loses their Lord first? Because both sides really need him. The Skaven tend to need it more than the Warriors of Chaos, but the Warriors of Chaos are so tattered that, I mean, if they lose their Lord, they'll just run out of gas. He is not ITP, and he's chasing after a terror-causing monster. And he does rout from the Flensing Ruin, and there are dogs nearby to sweep him up. He was so close to taking an Ikit Claw, but he failed in the end, and now he will get chased off by Wolf Rats. Hounding him. Aha! Hounding him to the edge of the map. It's funny, because they're dogs. From this point, Chaos is probably doomed. None of their units are fast enough to catch Ikit. They don't have Spirit Leech to keep dwindling him down anymore. We still have more infantry units for Chaos that have rallied on the far sides of the map, and they have not been given new orders. Those small mistakes will cost Hayseed mightily as the Chaos Lord starts to run to them. He's like, listen, dude, I'm bringing the fight to you. If you fuckers don't feel like playing the game anymore, I will force it upon you. The Wolf Rats run into the Marauders. Now the Marauders get orders. They get orders to run past the Wolf Rats, which they'll probably just rout since they're not fighting something. They're getting bit in return. Whoopsies. Army losses is hitting as I get caught up with chat. Alright. GG's. So, our friend will go on to finals. He is waiting in finals. Hayseed gave it hell. And we do hope to see you in more future events. This is the first one I've ever seen you in. You're playing quite well. You love to see it. And we do host other events that aren't just new player tournaments. We have our Vermin League ladder that is always present if you want to get a best of 3 in with tournament rules. Best of 1 practice pit is always around for just more quick battle style stuff. We have other events, other tournament hosts, not just me hosting stuff, so hopefully you stick around the community. Don't just play in a one new player tournament and fuck off. You can do whatever you want. You're an adult, but just say. Alright. So if you must know the bracket, Greyheart is fighting Twist. We have the replay right here to cast it. The winner of that goes on to fight Hayseed. The winner of that goes on to fight Propofolo in the finals. So there's 4 people left in this tournament. Greyheart, Twist, Hayseed, and Propofolo. One of which is going home right now. Greyheart and Twist. Greyheart on Norsca versus Twist's High Elves. Alrighty. Roo. Twist with his High Elves. Archers. The towns of Torquelada, more archers, more Lothern Seaguard, a front line of spearmen, some Dragon Princes, including the Fireborn. We have a Flamespire Phoenix and Teclis on horseback with Flock of Doom and Regrowth. This time slot is awesome for Australia. You can do it several more times. Sorry, I'm pausing because I want to answer this question. Yeah, every other week we do this time slot. One week I do European time zone, which means after they get home from work. And for me, that is midday. And then every other week we do USA time zone, so it's after I get home from work and people like me in the US. So if this is a good time slot for Australia, I will admit that is accidental. But yes, we do it every other week. All right. For Norsca and Greyhat. Frontline of Marauders, including the Icehorn Marauders. 3 Marauder Hunter Javelins? No, just 2. 2 Marauder Hunter Javelins, 2 Marauder Spearmen, triple Famir Warrior, all with great weapons. Wulfric the Wanderer, Seafang Sword of Torgal and Hunter of Champions, a Plague of Rust and Searing Doomcaster, and some flanking dogs who are deciding not to be flanking dogs anymore as the Fireborn went hunting for them. We do have a Marauder Horseman throwing axes. I'm going to throw out the Fireborn. This is good if they are very careful about their micro, but if their micro slips and they get charged for free, they will die super fast. What the fuck have I been doing? Dude, I don't know. I don't know what you've been doing. Famir have 45% missile resistance as long as their their leadership is above 50%. So they are very, very strong against factions with a lot of shooting. Flock of Dooms from Teclis trying to punish the Norskins on the way in. With all this archer fire, it is going to be a harrowing ascent through these desert dunes. But once they get into melee, Norsca will do marginally better. The High Elf Spearman stat line should keep them very safe from these Marauders. 50 melee defense is nothing to scoff at. But maybe Wulfric can get Seafang down maybe 2 of them at the same time. At least 1. and break some part of the front line. I must say, before he casts anything, I really hope he casts Seafang on the front line. I find it way more effective to break a hole in the front line and disrupt the back line than it is to do that, unfortunately. Just the Seafang on the back line, it does some good damage, but these Lothern Seaguard are going to rally, and they're going to keep shooting. And see, they still have 89 out of 90 models. They are chilling. They are fine. But if you break a hole in the front line, then you can pour Marauders through and disrupt the archers for the rest of the time. So I generally prefer using my spells on the front line to get into the back line rather than on the back line. Personal preference. In the distance, the Fireborn taking a lot of damage from these throwing axes. Overall, the throwing axes still getting managed. We can see they have movement orders to run away, so they're kiting out very well. But the Famir haven't really gotten into combat yet, and already the Norscan front line has entirely collapsed. Wulfric's trying to path through, running after Teclis, who does not have a net. Otherwise, he could have netted Wulfric in place in front of all those archers, and that could have been a disaster. Beasts of Tashnar do get in here. They hurt the Lothern Seaguard a little bit, but now we talked about this. Look at the high elf spacing. So now the archers can just defend the other archers, and the Beasts of Tashnar, they're getting shit done. It's a Lothern Seaguard, motherfucker. They have 44 melee defense. They're fine. So the other archers just shoot the dogs in the back, and they will rout them soon. Flamespire Phoenix dives onto Wulfric with Teclis' help. Wulfric pops Sword of Torgal. He's just going to body both these fools. He doesn't care at all. Dogs are routed off by the archers. Don't even need the Fireborn or other Dragon Princes to keep them safe. So they're doing just fine. And Wulfric is still on the hunt after Teclis, but the archers are still firing away into Norsca. Bronze shields and low armor does not a tanky front line make. Can the Famir Warriors be dealt with by the High Elf Spearmen? Because the archers sure don't want to deal with that. 45% missile resistance on something. 110 armor, too. Not their jam. What can Norsca do about Dragon? Plague of Rust and Javelin throwers is usually pretty good. Wulfric has another Seafang somewhere in his pocket. I don't know where he's going to use it on as the Searing Doom goes on in the background. Damaging those archers. We do have a pretty close game on our hands. Overall, the Famir are proving quite tanky for the High Elves to deal with. And the Fireborn are somewhere. There they are. The Fireborn in the distance, and they might have run off those Throwing Axe Cav, but look how much damage they took doing it. They lost half their HP. There's a regrowth waiting for them if they catch up with Teclis, but still, I mean, it's not great. Wulfric's horse just kicked Teclis in the face! Holy shit, his horse is doing as much fighting as Wulfric is! Okay. Calm down, Wulfric's horse. Our regrowth is out for the Flamespire Phoenix, and that is kind of the trick about fighting these High Elves, isn't it? Is Balance Power is deceptive when they can just full heal any second with regrowth. Lothern Seaguard trying to dodge a Searing Doom. They get a bit of a dodge, but still take a little bit of damage. But Teclis is currently getting bodied by Wulfric. Flamespire Phoenix dives in to save him with a lot of healing going on. The Famir are trying to also join the party, and Wulfric just wants to fight somebody. He doesn't even care who, he'll fight anybody. As the Fireborn are charging in, but a Plague of Rust Overcast reduces their armor. Won't matter too much against Famir. Famir with great weapons, great armor piercing, armor sundering, and anti-large. They'll be fine. So they didn't necessarily need that, but oh, the Fireborn takes so much damage on that charge. As some archers get friendly fire onto them, firing over the heads of the Famir, plus of course they just charge into Famir. Now, though, the Famir are definitely overextended. They're sitting on top of enemy spears. They're fighting enemy anti-large armor-piercing cav whenever the Fireborn get back in there. They're getting shot still. It is a bad time to be Famir overall. Some Marauder Hunter Javelins are trying to capitalize on the Plague of Rusted Fireborn. And in comes a Hunter of Champions onto Teclis. That's going to be a great fight for Wulfric, but will not be a great fight is Fireborn plowing into him. Marauder Hunters with Javelins trying to get in range to punish these guys, using Wulfric as bait a little bit, but the Plague of Rust has since worn off, and the Marauder Hunter Javelins still haven't really gotten into range. Now they're trying to throw at Teclis, who's still affected by the Hunter of Champions. Less armor and less speed makes it harder for him to dodge, but again, the Javelins don't quite throw in time. They don't quite get anything done in time, and they get routed by the Spearmen and Archers, hitting them from all sides. And we still have Famir on the high ground trying to do some work. We still have a healthy Shaman running around. Wulfric has enough left to still make the Flamespire Phoenix and Teclis beware. But the rest of Norsca is running out of bodies. They're running out of muscle. And Norsca is pure muscle, so if they're running out of that, they're, you know, deep shit. Fireborn going to countercharge Wulfric again, who runs in. Sword of Torgal is popped, giving him an impressive 778 weapon strength, though it is not that armor piercing. Teclis is peeled for by the King's Guard of the Fireborn, and once again, Wulfric just bounces out of there like he's made out of rubber. But Depression will hit the poor Wanderer of Norsca as a regrowth is going to undo all of his work onto Teclis. He routs in the face of the Fireborn and the Flamespire Phoenix, and that is going to be it. That is too much for Norsca to come back from. Horse knows how bad Wolfwork is in Cathay. Lore of Horse. Yeah. I got distracted reading chat. There is absolutely no hope. Wolfric will not return. Without him, Norsca's leadership is about to falter in every area except for this Famir and this Shaman. If Wolfric goes off the map, literally just this Shaman and this Famir will keep fighting. There's a lot of spears left, my friend. There's some decent archers, and that Shaman is no match for even Teclis. Wolfric is off the battlefield. Famir being held by a charge bonus, but as soon as the charge wears off, then they will break. Charging Beloved and Seaguard, down to 2 leadership. Charge wore off, now they break. Army losses hits, and that is GG. Kevin Truong with message retracted. Alright. That tracks. Even the Midas Warrior can fall into depression. He must have looked at his AP values. Yeah. 2,600 value on a Wolfric. It was not bad at all. Wolfric was doing his best, but healing is a hell of a drug. Marauder Hunter Javelins did well, despite not getting in the range of the Fireborn that one time. Famir did alright. The problem with Norsca versus High Elves is the High Elf Spearman frontline is really, really tricky to get through. Honestly, Plague of Rust and Searing Doom is good versus Imric. I see it. I'm not saying it's bad. My personal preference is Seafang and Burning Head. We don't have our next replay, so I can kind of show you what I was going to talk about. As we do now know, it was Masked Twist who won, so he moved on to fight Hayseed. They're fighting right now. I don't have that replay. When I get that replay, we'll cast it. But for now, I'm going to show you this concept I like versus High Elves. Okay. So Wolfric, give him Seafang, Hunter Champions, it's fine. It's fine, it's whatever. I don't need to actually kit him out correctly. I just want to show you Seafang. So versus High Elves. Okay. I'll also put him on a Warhorse, whatever. One, I like Berserkers. And Marauders. So I'll generally have the Marauders advance first, take a bunch of arrows, and then honestly I'll make them fall back and let the Berserkers charge through after that. But for this example, let's just do the Berserkers. High Elves. Are you guys still in your sandbox mode? Yes, so you'll sit there. Good. Whatever. Ooh, no, you have arrows. I don't want you to shoot back at me. Prince. Okay. And then we need 3 Spirit. This can work with Marauders and Trolls, Marauders and Famir, Marauders and Berserkers. Or just Berserkers, I guess. But I feel like if you just do Berserkers, no Marauders, you'll get shot too much on the way in. But Berserkers, you can see here, I actually have 50 melee attack. Plus, I have bonus versus infantry. It's only 5, but it's still some. Now I actually have as much melee attack as the melee defense of the High Elves. And also, the High Elves only get their martial prowess when their hit points are greater than 25%. So, I was talking about it in the middle of the game. Searing Doom and Plague of Rust are good spells, don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about my personal preference. But with the Seafang, I think this is objectively correct. When people use Seafang on Modern Seaguard or Archers, I think it's just wrong. Because I'm going to do it here. I don't want to be too unfair, because I know a player wouldn't group up like this. So let's cast this way, just because, again, I don't want to, like, punish the AI too badly. But, like, look at what that does. Look how quickly the Berserkers, and even Marauders, because most of that damage is from the fucking spell. Look at how quickly we get through the front line, and now you can just pressure the Archers, right? Because 80% HP off of Archers, as we saw in that game, you still have 89 out of 90 Lothern Seaguard. Like, none of them die. But all that damage on the front line, you break the front line, and now the Archers are going to spend the rest of the game running. And they can't keep shooting you, right? So, like, I legitimately think using your spells on the front line is way more important. Those type of spells. Burning Head, Sea Fang on the front line is really good. Because High Elves, insane melee stats. Dog shit armor and terrible HP. And both of those are punished by spells. You can't punish them super well in melee because of their stupid high melee defense. But spells, ignore melee defense. So just fuck them up. Break through that Spearman front line, disrupt their game plan, and you can probably win from there. I really strongly advocate for that. Also versus Skaven. I see too many people, like, Fate of Buna on Poisoned Globes is annoying. It's not worth it. And I know that sounds like Skaven propaganda, but it's like you're using a 24 Winds of Magic spell to shatter one unit. It's good, but there's better. I think Burning Head plus a terror-causing monster running through this Skaven front line, you can break through even clan rats pretty quickly with that. And then again, you're just harassing the globes. You're just pushing them back. So it's as good as killing them, because the globes that are running away are pretty much dead. Like, they're useless to everybody. I also like Doom and Darkness Overcast plus a terror-causing monster in the front line just to route the Skaven. But again, it's like sometimes taking out the front line is a strategy. It's not the only strategy, as we saw earlier with Greyheart dealing with airstrikes. He had like 4 of those goblin catapults. He clearly had a plan he was doing there. He out-artilleried the box and forced the box to move into him. But then it's a box, so it was really slow, and by the time it got to him, he took too much damage, right? There's other ways to deal with it. I was just proposing a method I really like and relates to one of the games we were just watching. But, yeah. You advocate burning the High Elves, you have my vote. Hell yeah! So when to use Burning Bolts? Burning Bolts is, in competitive, it's generally too slow to cast to use on players. But you can get away with it. It's really good at punishing cavalry fights or blobs. Mostly cavalry fights. You can cast it like on the enemy cavalry, and it'll do a lot of damage to them. But then again, most players are fast enough to dodge it. Fireball is pretty good at sniping out single entities, but mostly low armor single entities. My speed cannot be matched. If these little tips and tricks are helpful for you, yeah. You know what? I'm going to ask chat while we wait for this next game that's coming up. Chat, real opinions. These tips, I tell you, good video or nah? Alright. Real talk. Those little tips, are those interesting? Are those worth a video, or are those kind of lame and wouldn't be worth it? I actually want to know. Because this stuff is interesting to me. But what's interesting to me doesn't necessarily matter, because I'm such a fucking nerd about this game, I went and made an entire YouTube channel talking about it. So, I don't think I'm the best metric for what's interesting or what's not. I find really stupid shit interesting. Because I'm a loser. Those tips are literally the only reason I'm watching. Damn, Jordan. You're not wrong, but damn, Jordan. It's not your personality. It's not your jokes. It's just the tips. Alright, dude. Okay. Okie doke. We have our finalists. I'm just going to explain to them something. Since this is a double elimination tournament, we have someone fighting in the finals. But I just need to tell them that Prop needs to lose twice to lose. Twist only has to lose once. FYI. Yeah. So I'm just talking to the finalists right now so they know how the finals works. So Prop, since he's never lost, I have done it in the past before where in the finals, if you lose, you're just out no matter what. And every time that there's an upset, the player that only lost once in the entire tournament but then lost the finals gets upset. Understandably so, because he's like, dude, I lost once, everybody else lost once, but I don't get a second life. So that's fucked up. So we're trying it this way, where Propofolo has an extra life in the bank. Anyway, I'm done explaining that to those players. Let's check out who is fighting Propofolo. Will Hayseed get his second chance at him? Or will Twist... Ooh. Actually, this is a rematch between Hayseed and Twist. So Twist got knocked to the lower bracket by Hayseed in the very first game. And he has fought his way through the entire lower bracket to get his vengeance on Hayseed. Hayseed, however, wants a rematch of the winners finals to get back at Propofolo. They've been incredibly helpful for building your game.
We must cut them down.
Just turned around to vote in bed, so yes. Okay, so the vote's coming in, you people want it. Got it. We have 23 votes, only like 1 no. Alright. Let me make a note to myself so I don't forget that I just asked you this. And then 1 second. Alright. The note has been made. Thank you so much for your feedback. You guys are constantly making the stream better because I love you all. Let us do this! The rematch between Twist and Hayseed. One of these two is going to finals. One is leaving forever. For the High Elves of Twist, we have Teclis with Flock of Doom and Net. No regrowth this time. Lothern Seaguard backed up by archers, including the Talons of Torquelada, Illyrian Reavers, 4 of them, and then the Flamespire Phoenix with its fire poops. On the other side, Slaanesh of Hayseed. Hayseed bringing Forsaken, Devoted Marauders with Spears and Hell Scourges, and regular. It is a horrifying Mantide, much like his Nurgle he played. Who did he play that against? I'm trying to remember. It was Twist. Holy shit, I think it was. I think he played Nurgle against Twist right away, and got like super spread out. He's doing it again with 4 Chaos Furies and a Herald of Slaanesh. And then he played super spread out with Khorne too, the Bloodletters and the things. I see you. You're just taking the same army with different Chaos Gods. You cheeky bastard. Oh, that's funny. Hayseed's playing 3 different factions like they're the same faction. Anyway, what does this Slaanesh caster have? Hysterical Frenzy for more melee attack and armor piercing damage, and then Acquiescence. Chaos Fury's moving in, slowly but surely. Their armor piercing won't be the best versus the elves, but they're still really solid units. And Teclis even uses a net to just hold these Furies in place and let the archers take care of them. But we have Illyrian Reavers waiting to pounce as soon as these Furies land. Though the High Elf Spears are intimidating in their stat line, there's only 4 or 5 of them, so already Slaanesh has pierced the front line just through massive bodies. The Spearmen can't be everywhere at once, and now the Elves are under attack. Lothern Seaguard are pulling out their spears, and the Talons of Torquelada and other archers are under attack by the Furies. Now the Flamespire Phoenix is trying to do a little bit of peeling, and Illyrian Reavers are going to charge in too. The Furies will die quickly, but they're also getting some decent damage out on the archers. Not the Lothern Seaguard, but regular archers, they will do well. I would like to see a Hysterical Frenzy on these Forsaken, so they just chew through Spearmen. I would find that very funny, but here we are. A little bit of trouble. Slaanesh is forgetting some units. This flank wasn't quite in position to attack, and now some Forsaken are getting left behind. So Hayseed does seem to be struggling under the weight of the amount of units he is trying to micro. We see a couple others standing around, which I don't blame him. I've forgotten units plenty in the past too. Even in my Greyseer playoffs games, I have a couple games I need to yell at myself for forgetting units. Not trying to throw shade, just pointing out that he is struggling to get all of his units really into the fight. Flamespire Phoenix is running around, trying to currently poop on some Devoted Marauders, doing a little bit of friendly fire to Spearmen, but that's okay, I suppose. Slaanesh still has plenty of infantry, mucking up the backfield, and the High Elves have a lot of archers that they're currently not able to get online. I do not see a lot of arrows flying towards Slaanesh, so that is problematic. The Townsend Torquilada found a little bit of time to fire here and there, but that is it. Out of 8 archers, 1 is firing, which is usually a bad sign. Still have some Forgotten Forsaken. Still have a Spearman setting up a flank. So while Hayseed's done a great job shutting down the archers, I worry we don't have the oomph. Flamespire Phoenix even going to land in the Herald of Slaanesh. Magic damage, of course, very good against demonic units. Their physical resistance counts for nothing then. Love and Seaguard getting close to routing everywhere. The High Elves have taken a lot of damage, but it looks like their tenacity might just win the day. As even at low HP, their leadership is generally solid, and they're going to keep firing into the forces of Slaanesh. There we go. The Forsaken from the high ground are now charging in. They're here to play. 63 weapon strength, nothing to scoff at. And is that Hysterical Frenzy? Yes, it is. They are in with 94 melee attack. They will churn through the Lothern Seaguard. 44 melee defense or not, you guys are dead as hell. Go Crabclaw Forsaken, go. You'll have to see fun little tech pieces like that. From Hayseed, always creative, always fun to watch, but I will say he is on the back foot. I would much rather be the High Elves in this situation. It's not over. There's still a lot of infantry doing a lot of disruption, but disruption is really the key. This Slaanesh build feels just a little low on damage. Hellscourges and Spears. Hellscourges and Spears are both defensive type units, so they sacrifice melee attack for higher melee defense, which when you're rushing can lead to issues where your DPS is just low. Like, they're lasting forever. It's taking forever to clear out these Devoted Marauders, sure, but they're not doing a lot of damage either. And Teclis is just sitting here throwing out Flocks of Dooms on cooldown. Herald of Slaanesh gets away from the Flamespire Phoenix once again. And Teclis, the only thing I will say, I've been negative on Slaanesh for a while now. What I will say is Teclis is fraudulent. Full HP on Teclis doesn't matter. Like, it's a lot of balance of power, but in the state of the game, if he charges into any melee fight, he's going to do absolutely nothing. So, if Teclis was 10% HP, it'd be just as effective, but the balance power would be a lot more optimistic about Slaanesh, is what I'm trying to say. So that is concerning. Flamespire Phoenix will be difficult to deal with for Slaanesh, unless it just lands in Forsaken and sits there forever. Hysterical Frenzy is out for these Devoted Marauders. Once again, that higher melee attack, and they push off the High Elves. High Elves still have some Spearmen in the distance that are doing okay. Flamespire Phoenix is, of course, doing great, and so is Teclis. For Slaanesh, we have a Forsaken that's chilling. Marauders are getting low, but hanging around for now, and then the Herald is half HP, so it's really, can this full health Forsaken? I swear that thing was just full health. What the hell happened to him? One Flock of Doom did not do that. The Firebird must have pooped on it. It's the only way. Here we go. Desperate final gamble from Slaanesh. Fascination to Rampage in Teclis. He pops Potion of Troy for 40% damage resistance to keep him safe, but he is still a squishy, squishy man. Getting surrounded by Devoted Marauders with Spears. 40 melee defense, 50 armor will not keep him safe for long. The Rampage wears off. The Herald is trying to recharge into him. Does get a big chunk off. Teclis is going to run for it. 71 speed. She has 100. She should be able to run him down. But she doesn't want to get too far away from her support, or she's going to get rear charged by the magic damage Flamespire Phoenix, who is still carpet bombing all the Slaanesh forces. But the Herald is getting really good hits onto Teclis. And he is going to net her in front of the Flamespire Phoenix, who does hit his charge attack. Looks like he's going to hit the next one. Illyrian Reaver's also piling in. Her leadership dips down to 9. If she takes one more hit, she is going to Demonic Instability Crumble. Mark my words. Acquiescence make the Illyrian Reavers a little easier to hit. The Flamespire Phoenix is unfortunately T-posing. The Herald of Slaanesh is now in her troops, safe and sound as they get to fight the Illyrian Reavers. But another big Flock of Doom over the tops of all these very wounded troops is going to get them to start routing quite soon. Where is that relatively healthy Forsaken? Looks like he was chasing something off into the middle of nowhere. Does need to rally. Because With Hysterical Frenzy, if she has the Winds of Magic for it, which maybe she doesn't after all these spells, Hysterical Frenzy Forsaken is the only thing that could maybe kill that Flamespire Phoenix. Sweet Sorrow gives her 130 speed as she runs down Teclis. She ain't messing around, but she's so fast she misses the charge attack, like physically misses Teclis' model. Then she catches back up to him and runs past him. It's too much speed. No man was meant to have this much speed as the Crab Claw Lady gets netted in place. And Teclis is like, nice 130 speed. I'm taking it to 0, but she's still kicking his ass. As Teclis needs to get out of here, he's trying to run towards her, but he ends up just pushing her, and she gets hit after hit after hit onto Teclis, but the balance of power is so low, the Flamespire Phoenix is in. One hit, I told you earlier, one hit, and she is Demonic Instability Crumbling, guaranteed. One hit, and it is even Armilos is the most powerful of Demonic Instability Crumbling, and she is out. So you could say they've been forsaken. It was a fun game. Twist got his revenge, beating Hayseed, who... Hayseed knocked him into the loser's bracket, then he got his revenge to get himself into finals. Twist is still the underdog, though. Not only, I mean, the underdog because Propoflo has not been beaten yet today, but because to win the tournament, he has to beat Propoflo twice. Whereas his opponent, Propflo, I'm just going to call him, only has to win one of the next 2 games. Can Twist do it? I don't know. They are 10 minutes into matching with each other. I don't think they are still waiting on for me, so they're probably in a game. I'm going to grab a soda and queue up for a quick battle. Dear me. Nothing against Twist. He seems like a cool guy. I hope Purple Flow wins so I can go to bed. Let's make this a 1-0. Twist, I love you, but I want to go to bed. I work in... I wake up to go to work in 7 hours, so... I would like to go to bed. Twist, like, watch as Twist is listening to the stream. He's in his game right now, and he's actually, like, kicking Propoflo's ass, and he goes, ugh, fine, and just, like, throws the game. Orders all of his units to surrender and retreat. And Propoflo's like, what the fuck? And Twist is like, I don't know, the streamer told me to lose. 5 a.m.? Yes. I work 4 10-hour shifts. I work 5 a.m. to, well, okay, I work 6 to 4. So, I wake up at 5 to have breakfast and then go to work. But it gives me Wednesdays off, which I usually try and use to stream in the EU time zone. And then, yeah. What faction should I play besides Grand Cathay? I would recommend Empire because they're really fun, but they're also stupid overpowered right now. So that sucks. I love Empire. Like, I haven't played them in a long time because the DLC broke them, but in theory and before the DLC, I love Empire. Vampire Coast is pretty fun. I like them a lot. Ooh, actually Tomb Kings. For sure, Tomb Kings. If you like Grand Cathay, you'll probably like Tomb Kings. They play a little different, but there's enough similarities that it's not like you're learning a brand new faction. You're just learning, like, a different flavor. Because Skeleton Spearmen are solid, Tomb Guard with Halberds are solid, you're used to that with Jade Warrior Halberds and Peasant Long Spears. And you still have heavy range focus with Ushabti Greatbow and the Ushabti Greatbow ROR. Bone Giants are also pretty good. Remind you of Zaytang. So, yeah, actually, I would highly recommend Tomb Kings. Tomb King's cavalry is pretty weak, whereas Grand Cathay's cavalry is okay. But from what I've seen of your replays, you don't tend to love to play with a ton of cavalry, so I don't think you're going to miss out on too much. And Tomb Kings have better monstrous infantry. Melee Ushabti are solid. Necropolis Knights, I don't believe in them, but some other people really like Necropolis Knights, so I think you could have some fun with that. The big kitty cats of Doom are also pretty different from Cathay, having big monsters that are actually really good. 6-4 builder? No, I work for the state of Minnesota. I find PFAS compounds in water and send reports to the towns that we got the water samples from, telling them if they have a microplastics issue. Not Tomb Kings, there's no mammoth. Eagle Crop, I'm starting to think that you like mammoths. They always die because I can't micro. Yeah, dude, play Tomb Kings. Their cav sucks anyway. So you don't fucking take their cav. Their cav is ass. It serves its purpose, but it is objectively garbage. Ooh, I have skeleton horsemen. Boo. Fuck skeleton horsemen. Alright, I'll queue land battle. I promised myself I wouldn't. Microplastics is actually a big problem. Yes, it is. I took a pay cut. I used to work at the Mayo Clinic, but we moved up to the cities, and I've always wanted to work in water treatment. So, I took a bit of a pay cut, but I am loving my job at the state of Minnesota. Tomb King's horse archers are pretty good. Yeah, those are. I was talking about their melee cav, but Jep, you have a point. Nobody is playing this game right now. That's upsetting, because looking at the Steam active charts, there are thousands of people playing this game right now. Sounds cool, to be honest. I like it. I love my job. I'm also really good at my job. That's not always true. Like, I'm not just trying to be a dick and like say I'm always good at my job. I actually worked at my last job. I was okay, but you know, it's different being like good or great at your job and being fine. I was fine. They had no reason to fire me, but no one would be like, oh man, Austin, that's my real name. Austin is just incredible at this. Like, you should go ask him for advice or ask him how to do things. That was not my cup of tea at Mayo. Like, I was fine. But at this job, I'm actually kicking tons of ass. I'm real good at it. Because it's all about time management and organization, which, if you've ever participated in one of my tournaments, you should know I am good. Yeah, I'm always pretty good at focusing on lots of different things and scheduling things, using the best out of my time, and that's what this job entails, so I'm just crushing it. Whereas, I work in chemistry, but I'm not the strongest chemist. And when I used to be in research and development, it was like, you need to be a lot better at chemistry than I was, so I struggled a lot. And it's like I said, I was fine, but not good. Like, I wouldn't even say I was good at my job. I was fine. This job, there's not as much chemistry. It's just pure organization and effort, which I have in spades. Kyle Lavelle comes in with his classic membership. Thanks, brother. Give it to Sang Nam. Here we go. On to this game. Either the final game of the stream or the second to last. If it is going to be the second to last, we are rooting for the Demons of Chaos led by Twist for another game. Otherwise, you're looking for the Scape and purple. So if you want another game, and for me not to be able to go to bed tonight, you were rooting for the Demons of Chaos with Screamers, Fleshhounds, both of which brought their Regiment of Renown, Shrieking Skyrays, and the Hounds of the Blood Hunt. Karanak, a frontline of Nurglings, one of which is the Frolickers Bubonic. 4 Blue Horrors, one of which is the Chromatic Abominations, ROR. Then we have Be'lakor, the solo carry versus Skaven, the worst lord for them to fight ever. He is a mean combination of Skaven killing. Especially if he holds Shadow Shroud for Flensing Ruin, then he will be just fine. For the Skaven, we have the Avalanche Mortars, Poisonwind Globes, Council Guard, Eshin Triads mixed with Skaven Slave Frontline, Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters, more Clan Rats, and then some Wolf Rats in the background. But Shrieking Skyrays have already dove on the Avalanche Mortars, and they are om-nomming right through the Avalanche Mortars. Half the HP off that very expensive unit already gone. Howling Warp Gale locks Be'lakor in place. But to what end? Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters are going to shoot at him, but he has 60% damage resistance from the ward save, and then 20% physical resistance, and 25% missile resistance. They are doing nothing to him. He doesn't care at all about this attack, and now Ikit Claw is netted in place by Karanak. He is silenced, cannot use any of his spells at the moment, and he is getting surrounded by the Screamers and Fleshhounds, and the Be'lakor dives on him. They're going all in on killing Ikit Claw. Elsewhere, things are going great for the Skaven. Ikit Claw is getting sniped, and that is horrible. But over here, they're getting tons of kills and doing great. The Globes are firing back onto the Blue Horrors, which is going fantastically, and they're even winning in melee as they push forward. So that is going great. Skaven love that. Skaven hate whatever is going on back here as Ikit Claw's down to half HP. He managed to squiggle his way out away from Karanak, who now dives onto the Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooter, saying, fine, if Ikit's going to run away, I will attack something that can't. But Be'lakor is going to keep after Ikit, keep him honest, and chase him through all of these Skaven slaves and clan rats. The front line of Skaven is holding or winning, which Skaven take those. And please do not throw the globes at the Council Guard. Don't. Okay, they're still throwing at that. Okay, they're hitting their own Eshin Triads. I don't love that. Do not throw at the Council Guard. I will murder you if you do so. No, they have fire at will on. No, the poor Council Guard. No, the friendly fire. Okay, actually, most of that went over them. Whew. Crisis avoided, but the Shrieking Skyrays are in here to end those guys' fate. Natty Boobos are shattered. Avalanche Mortars are rallying, but we'll see for how long that lasts. The Skaven aren't in trouble. Bounce power is 50-50, but I am not. I would much rather be the Demons of Chaos in this moment, rather than Scabrinos. Human Boy, hey, love the content. Can you explain the non-multiplayer person why elite infantry is quite rare? Multiplayer, the main stat that matters is your cost efficiency. I'm sure Jeff Pardue answered you, judging by the fact that you're praising him later. But the main stat that matters is cost efficiency, and the more expensive you are, the more important it is that you do a lot of shit. And infantry, by definition, cannot do a lot of shit. There's a reason most of the expensive stuff you'll see in the game is fast. Is because whatever is expensive needs to win you the fucking game. And to win you the game, it's got to get there, get to the important fights, and move around. Like Be'lakor and Karanak currently, they can go wherever they want. They're super fast. They can get to any combat encounter. They can go fight Ikit Claw. Now imagine the Demons of Chaos brought, like, the Exalted Demon at ROR, which is a good unit, so maybe it's not the best example. We do see that in multiplayer from time to time. But, like, it's easy to swamp those things in Skaven Slaves, and then Ikit can just roll away. But if you put all of your eggs into a basket of, like, Be'lakor can fly to any important fight and win it and turn the tide of the game for you. It's why you see the Fireborn so often for the High Elves, the super elite armor-piercing cavalry. It's because they can get where they need to be. They can win the fights they need to win. Elite infantry, your opponent has to opt in to fighting them, which, if they're a good opponent, they're not going to do. And if they're a bad opponent and they do that, then you were going to win anyway because you're the better player. So that's why you don't usually see a lot of elite infantry. I hope that was not I hope that wasn't too rambly and you got the gist. Because I got all the correct information out, but I got it in word soup. It was a soup of information. All right. I liked how the demons played the first half of this game. I'm not loving the later half. I feel like Karanak is spending a lot of his time chasing off random shit instead of hunting down Ikit Claw at all times, which he definitely should be doing. Be'lakor doesn't want to land on the Council Guard and I guess the Eshin Triads, but I hope he starts throwing out Melkoths onto the Council Guard. He'll need it to take care of them. Nice Lamprey's Bite onto the Ashen Triads, again, trying to get rid of them, but the longer we fuck around and let Ikit stay alive, the more Flensing Ruins he's going to cast, and though Be'lakor can throw out Shadow Shroud to deflect 60% of the damage from it, I mean, you still don't want to take free Flensing Ruins on, like, a 5,000 gold lord. Environmental Science? I'm in the Environmental Contaminants unit, but no. I just work in the lab all the time. Claw getting run down by the Shrieking Skyrays, taking a little bit of damage here and there. The poke is mounting up. These are Skaven slaves that are so healthy. So, Be'lakor can route them super easily. I guess there's a Clan Rat that'll be a little difficult to deal with. Council Guard's still very healthy. Be'lakor pops Shadow Shroud. Don't know why. Probably want to keep that for the next Flensing Ruin that is apparently coming, because Karanak's not keeping on this shit. Come on, Karanak. Figure it out. Figure it out, brother. Be'lakor's going to chase off the Clan Rats. While he is near a routing unit, he is slowly healing up because of Lord of Torment. And Ikit throws a Storm Demon down the side of these Frolickers Bubonic and whatnot. He's just trying to get them to Demonic Disability Crumble, which is fair. Look at this clump. What I wouldn't give for a Pit of Shades right now. Be'lakor's coming in. Skaven Slaves are thinking about routing. Hell, even the Clan Rats are going to route. Which is a nasty loss for the Skaven, losing all these extra bodies. Ikit is in trouble once again. Be'lakor somehow manages to miss two hits a row on him, but Prey of the Bloodgrod nets him in place while getting a Spirit Leech's level of damage for free. The Council Guard are trying to fight back, but Be'lakor is very spooky and can honestly sit in them for quite a while. Sniping out Ikit is worth whatever pitiful damage he'll take from the Council Guard. Ikit is going to rout now. Army losses should hit for the Skaven any second here. The Council Guard, being unbreakable, will fight to the end, but there is no shot they win this game. And it looks like Propofofolo knows that. Twist takes us to 1-1, kind of, in a weird way. So the next game will be the last game for real this time, as Propofofolo lost his winner's side free life. Scanning around the damage values, just looking for anything that really stands out. Nothing too crazy. Ikit Claw got 2,000 value. Be'lakor and... Actually, the Shrieking Skyrays got more than Be'lakor or Karanak. Alright, gonna catch up with chat. So Danikin pops in here with a creature from Doom in his picture. My job's talking to sad people till they feel better. I think that's Grace's job, too, if I understand what it was. KH, thanks for keeping Line Battles alive, man. I feel like you are and Dov are the only YouTubers that keep the Spectacle of Land Battles alive after they introduced Domination. Hey, KH. We're trying. We are trying. My Battle Love for Life. Jeopardy stole my answer even though he said it before I did. Tactical Edge does some live battles as well. Yeah, we love Tactical Edge. Do you classify Demigryph as heavy cav? Monsters cav. Magic Self-Play, for example. Does anyone have the Knights of the Black Rose? Yes. Yes. Knights of the Black Rose are very popular. It's just Empire's banned all the time because they're too strong. Not by me, but like... We have bans in our tournaments for a pick ban system. That's the reason you don't see literally the same two factions every game. And Empire is one of the top 2 or 3 factions, so people usually ban them. Dwarves, Kislev, Empire are the strongest 3 right now, but the reason you hardly ever see them is because usually that's where the bans go. You take them in campaign. Yeah, that's because campaign has a different thing. Strength is power in campaign. The best units are the best units, period. You want the highest stats. Gold doesn't matter in campaign, really. You can get infinite gold. If you start winning battles, you'll snowball on gold really easily. You just want the best units. In multiplayer, it's all about gold efficiency, because you have a finite amount of gold, and so does your opponent. So you got to get more out of your 12,400 than he does. I don't think that's bad. I kind of like that different units are good in different places. You know? Because then when I play campaign for fun, just when I'm not streaming, I can take Queek and 18 Storm Vermin with a caster and feel like a fucking badass. I'm glad that that isn't viable in multiplayer. I'm also glad that, I don't just keep taking my multiplayer armies in campaign, because I play my multiplayer armies all the frickin' time. So. Whatever happened to that new Kislev lore? Lore of Hags? Oh, it's around. It wasn't very good. It had one spell that was bugged, and that was the only spell anybody ever took. And then it got nerfed, and now people are like, well, now I have no reason to take this lore. Is the End Times canon? Yes. Tequila Sunset weekly land battle streams? Dude, fuck Tequila Sunset. No, I'm kidding. I love him. He's in the chat. He's got the blue wrench so he can promote himself whenever people bring him up. Gold Dye is interesting, gets finessed by speed and DPS. Yeah. Also, Domination has a place for heavy infantry. I'm not sure if that's the meta right now. You'd have to ask, like, Turin, or someone who does Domination content and actually knows the meta. I don't. Domination isn't for me. But, like, there is a camp, and I'm not trying to disparage them. They just see the game differently than me. I kind of don't want Conquest to just become land battles, but with a point. Where, like, they balance it in such a way that it literally becomes land battles. But then with the point as like a timer, like, I don't know. I appreciate having different places to go play different things. And like Domination tends to, when I was paying attention to it, it tended to reward infantry more than land battles did. It tends to reward like tankiness and point presence more because, I mean, you win the game on points. So that's kind of neat, because if you're the type of player that likes heavy infantry or something, it's viable in campaign and maybe Domination, maybe not land battles, maybe kind of in Conquest, where it's like, I don't mind things having different metas, because then depending on what I feel like playing, you can play a different meta, and that's fine. So I kind of hope that Conquest is diverse and that it isn't just trying to replace land battles, but it seems like from what CA is aiming for, what they've said in their public patch notes stuff, it sounds like they're just trying to replace land battles with Conquest, which, whatever. As long as they don't take it out of the source code, I can still host my tournaments on it. And like I said, I just play Conquest and Quick Battle anyway. The only reason I queued land battle here is because I was having a hard time finding a game, and we found Jepardu, who's one of my mods, so he's probably going to be alright. Eagle Crumpin has been wanting a Norscan Mammoth all day, so we're going to give him a Norscan Mammoth. So how to differentiate between land battles and Conquest? Currently, Conquest rewards blobbing more than land battles does, and punishes kiting, where land battles, you can like kite out games. Now, I'm not saying blobbing is the best way to play, but it's like more viable on Conquest than it is on land. So there's that. I'm going to keep my Flaming Axe of Cormac, because it's actually kind of good against Tomb Kings. So we have one Mammoth, but what about two Mammoth? Alright, we have our double Mammoth Rush just for him. Now how to actually deal with Tomb Kings. Now that I have, like, what is that? 3,600 gold worth of useless stats. Let's actually try to beat the Tomb Kings. Basic Marauders are fine against their front line. Berserkers feels like overkill considering how much money I have into two Mammoths. I kind of need to recoup some losses somewhere. I am actually going to take Famir because Ushabti Greatbow are a problem. Let's get some... I don't know if I even want Skin Wolves, to be honest. Every infantry they have is going to be a basic spear. And then a lot of stuff will be armored, so fuck that noise. Okay, so we have Famir, we have Mammoths. I kind of want some ranged units, but I can't defend them. So what's the point? I guess we're just going to be melee rushing, because if I can't defend... defend the Marauder Hunters, and I shouldn't bother. Okay, we're melee rushing. Cool, 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 cool. That's really easy to say, and then I have no follow-up. So I guess we're just taking more Famir, baby! Famir all day, motherfucker! Let's go! This is what we're doing now. Sure. That's a build. I think Conquest needs to have a way to stop the count if the point is contested, but otherwise I have no issue. Conquest feels like a static battle, which is kind of boring. I don't mind it existing. Yeah, Shetland. I definitely agree. Like, I enjoy my land battle tournaments the most. I really like Conquest for ranked matchmaking. Like, quick battles where I don't know the other guy. We're not going to be following the same, like, handshake rules, you know? Love it for that. My wish is that after this next DLC, the next one is Slaanesh High Elves Norsca. If not Norsca, then Dark Elves. Just sent in the final replay. Thanks, dude. I am loading into a game now with Jep Jepardu. And then we'll cast that game and go to bed. But since I got Jep, since we were already about to enter the game, I'm just gonna go. Kevin Trong, are any chance that you were Propolopopolopolo? You made mistakes on this build? I hope I didn't cut you off too early. But I did want to get onto the casting the final game and going to bed, so it's okay. If it's a quick battle and I just rushed you, then just call me an asshole and we'll be okay. 5 a.m. Twist, you go to bed. You deserve it, dude. Go to bed. You did great. Let's kill this guy. Cast Twist's game. And move on. Fast, ready, quick battle scumbag. You hate to see it? It's true, dude. You hate to see it. I am a scumbag. Feral Mammoth. Marauder Chieftain on his Mammoth with his flaming axe. Just for Eagle Crumpin'. And then we have our Famir Rush, because they're pretty resistant to Shopti Greatbow Fire. I'm going to put more of my infantry-focused Famir near the middle. My anti-large near the sides. But yeah, this is the most brain-dead Norsca build you can take. I'm going to run at you, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to win this game. That is the plan. I'll wait for him to ready up first. Mammoth. Question. If I'm in theatrical mode, can I order units? No. Damn it. I was going to ride on the back of that mammoth and order my units around. I guarantee you, but couldn't do it. You unga, therefore you bunga. Let's go! Let's go! He brought chariots? Gross. Gross for him, not gross for me. I don't care. It's official. I don't give a single shit about chariots. Oh, wait. That Famir should actually be going there. Okay. You better run! You better run! The mammoths come in swinging at the chariots. Oh, chariot's like, oh fuck. Oh shit, brother! And then they run away. Yeah, you better. Alright, I'm getting shot at by a Shopty Greatbow, so I need to do a little bit of spooping. and swooping. I'm casting a bunch of orders, so you shoot it where I'm going, but it's not working. Oh my god, these chariots are going straight through my marauders, man! I'm just gonna go in the woods. I don't like this.
The Dark Gods command me.
Dark Gods command me. Will you stop with all this bullshit? Are those carrion? Why? What are you flanking? I'm Norscan, bro. Alright, whatever. He's positioned all awkward. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a burning head. I'm gonna go up there because I'm currently blobbing up these guys in the woods, and that'll be fine. Carrion are mildly harassing me, and that's whatever. But we're through the front line. Hey, remember when we talked about that? Remember when we talked about getting through the front line by casting your spells on the front line instead of the back line? That's crazy. We're doing that in this game. Oh my goodness. Alright, those chariots are about to have the worst day of their entire lives. Oh my god. They will die so fast. Alright, marauders are not being very helpful, so go flank this while my mammoth goes over here. All the chariots are dead, because I said they would be. And now my mammoth is having troubles, but don't worry, he has friends, he has support, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. Don't love that this is still happening to me, so I'm going to pull some Famir back to help me out. Because I would like my Burning Headcaster to be alive at the end of this. Alright, fine. We'll undercast it somewhere. I don't know where I even need it, to be honest. Whatever. I'll wait and just hope he doesn't rout, because I really don't want to waste the Burning Head on literally nothing. But I guess that's what we're doing. Famir did manage to catch one of his Ushapti. These guys are all absolutely turbo fisting that guy. I would really like for a big old burning head right there. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Let's watch it, because why cast Burning Head if you're not going to watch it go through troops? Oh, the damage! Oh, it's so good! Love Burning Head. Stop casting Shems at me! Stop it! No, not my Pharaoh Mammoth! No! Stop it! Run! Run! Run, Pharaoh Mammoth! Get to safety! Get to safety! You got this! Alright, I think we've already won. He's just in a lose-lose situation at this point. Yay, Pharaoh Mammoth shattered! It might be a weird thing to say yay, but that means he's not gonna die, because he's gonna get off the map. Anyway, that Ushapti's fake, so that's gonna fade away, and all of a sudden the bounce power is gonna look a lot better. This guy's doomed. As my Famir warriors should finish it off. So without that, I mean, Khalida can't kill my Mammoth. These Famir are just going to keep the Ushapti from shooting for literally the rest of the game. So without that, he has no damage. Move one. Wow. Wow, that Necrosphinx actually just killed all the Famir that were surrounding it. Wow. Okay. That's a thing you can just do. How is this Mammoth missing the Lich Priest of Light, by the way? The Lich Priest has 30 melee defense. I have 45 melee attack plus bonus versus infantry. 34 bonus versus infantry, by the way. There, that's a good hit. Alright, you... Burning Head that thing! I summoned a Flaming Skull! Motherfucker! Yeah, it's got the burnt leadership debuff. Also, it gave my guy more fire damage because he does fire damage. Alright, Famir is still fighting. They're doing fine. Those guys are chasing that off. The Mammoth is going to kill that, and then army losses will hit, and then we'll win the game, and then everyone will say, Mammoth's OP, and then I'll say, no, Mammoths are stupid. I'm OP. And then people will be like, you're stupid, and then they'll yell at me, and then I'll quit, and I'll go cast the final game of the tournament. Shouldn't the chieftain have like a crossbow spear on a mammoth? What's the point of an axe? I don't know. Prop of Lol, I hope you heard us earlier when we said you're a really good player, and we hope you stick around because we love you. And if you missed that part, then you literally just heard it, so hey, get a clue. Jep, taking a very silly, fun build with Khalida, and then Skeleton Horse Archer Chariots, which he actually did amazing with those. They're just not very good units right now. But he tried his ass off. GG indeed. Let's cast this last replay so I can go to bed, huh? This is the final of finals. The most finally finaled. Twist is still here? Twist, you said you went to bed! Twist! What the fuck? Also, why do you have triple gold chevron to bloated corpses? Like, bloated corpses is one thing. Why do you have triple gold chevron to bloated corpses? Twist versus Propabuffalo. I don't understand why the bloated corpses are triple gold chevron. You do have 5 of them. That is also insane. Then we have 3 bombers, which is solid. 2 handgunners, 3 handgunners, which is good. Some pole arms, quadruple mortar, and then more handgunners in the back with Celestial Deer Fawn in the front. Denizens of the Deep, Vangeist's Revenge, Ghosts of the Past, and Song of Enthrallment. Okay. That's alarming. That is an alarming build. For the High Elves, they have 4 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, 11 Sea Guard, Rangers, White Lines of Grace. We have a Frostheart Phoenix, a Sun Dragon, and then an Archmage of Life with Dwellers Below and Earthblood on an Eagle. And the Bolt Throwers are going to beat the Mortars in melee. Yes. I mean, they would beat them in melee too, but they'll probably win the Artillery Duel, since they're actually going to take out Mortar models. This guy's already down to 1. Well, the Mortars are aiming for the crew. Now the Damned Knights Errant charge out, and 1 Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is actually already routing away from the Mortars. A Sun Dragon lands to try and save their Bolt Thrower crews, but the Damned Knights Errant are trying to ignore that. Meanwhile, a sneaky stealth Vanguard Illyrian Reaver charging straight into the handgunners, going to punt them forward. Is that max train 12 ranged units? I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, 12. You simply aren't ready to play, ready to comprehend this strategy. I'm apparently not. Wonder how bloat builds up experience when their attack seems at one time to be deal. Yeah. Still, all 5 bloated corpses hiding in the trees. The High Elves, for all we know, don't even know that that is there. Damn Knights Errant are nearly dead, but they take out a second Bolt Thrower. So the High Elves are down to 2. 2 Bolt Throwers. And the Damn Knights Errant managed to charge over there, too. I am surprised they're lasting this long, but here we are. Oof. And that is a bit of a tough one. Twist summons crabs just as the Illyrian Reavers are going to rout, so now it's not really going to matter too much, but don't do this. Propadov. Propadov. Don't fly your dragons into all those handguns. Alright, he's retreating now. Good, good. I didn't like that. I didn't appreciate it. So our Bolt Thrower crews are trying to come back. And how are the Mortar teams doing? 3 out of 4 models, 4 out of 4 models, 4 out of 4. Oh no, those Illyrian Reavers charged the Mortar that was down to 1 model anyway. Oh, that's a bit of a disaster. That is a bit of a disaster. The High Elves look like they're going to move up into melee now, as they're way down on balance of power. I still think the Bolt Throwers should win the artillery fight in the end, but these Bolt Throwers need to get back on their mounts, which are over here. I don't think he noticed they got knocked off by the ghosts. But the Bolt Throwers are firing away. Taking down the Mortars. And the Illyrian Reavers are back for another suicide charge. What will they charge this time? Looks like they're going for that crew, who's already damaged. There we go. The artillery fight continues on in the weirdest fucking battle of the night, and it is finals. What is... I have questions. I have questions. Why did you cast those below your Rangers? Why would you do that? Obviously it was a misclick. Obviously it was a misclick, but still very funny. I'm not gonna lie, I misclicked. Yeah. It happens, dude. I just gotta ham it up for entertainment value. It's treason, then. Are they trolling you? It's possible. As the bloated corpses are trying to get in here, handgunners are firing away at the Lothran Seaguard. They're gonna switch onto the Sun Dragon, but the bloated corpses just want a friend. They're getting shot occasionally by the High Elves. He's slowing down. He's running out of gas. He ends up just stopping and giving up on his chase entirely, but the bloated corpses continue on. Vampire Coast still up in the balance of power. Mortars firing. We still have one mortar that is online. And this... Oof, the Frostheart Phoenix blows up one. The Mage Lady blows up another. Frostheart Phoenix is going to blow up another one. Run! Run, Corpsey! Oh, God, he's dead. This one's going to get in. He's going to get in there! He's going to do it! Yay! With triple gold chevron, he probably costs like 600 gold, and he killed an almost dead Lothran Seaguard. Ah, and the last one got just teabagged. I was sweaty and misclicked. Roast me appropriately. I refuse to. As a Vangeist Revenge takes out these Rangers, but, yeah. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. We love you anyway. We'll allow it. Look at the balance of power. Look at that. It was so far in the coast's favor, and then all those bloated corpses died, and all of a sudden it's like, never mind. Tied game. So the bombers immediately kill off an entire unit of spearmen that got clumped up around Solostra, and it looks like the Rangers are meeting a similar fate. We still have some bolt throwers who are still technically firing. They are alive, and that is the most I could say about them. But the handgunner mobs are now going to light up the Archmage of Life, and this, like we talked about earlier in the stream, handguns defending handguns just keep them far enough away that she can't disrupt multiple, and she loses half her HP just like that. Tries to get back in this guy with an Earthblood, just getting shot all the way out. So much damage from the Vampire Coast handgunners. And Solostra is in the backline. She has her second crab summon somewhere. Yeah, she has it in pocket if she needs it. But that Archmage of Life went from full health to just dead in front of the handguns. Don't fuck around with Coast handguns, man. They're nutty. Can these White Lions of Craze carry? Can the Frostheart Phoenix carry? Maybe. Possibly. People love this dude. He was playing Skaven in our tournament. Of course I love that guy. Who doesn't? That's another Vangeist. Dodge, 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 dodge. You gotta get out of there! You gotta run, brother! He's trying to run under the ghost ship to avoid most of the damage. Still loses half HP, but much better than it could have been. So overall, actually a really good dodge from the High Elves, but those bombers going nuts on the Spearmen. Once again. Now the High Elves are looking so tattered. We still have some bolt throwers, but a spooky, scary ghost lady has something to say about that as she is pimp-slapping her way through these High Elf archer crews. And the handguns still doing great work. The one mortar that's still online being defended by another handgun. Love that a lot from Twist, keeping one back there. Frostheart Phoenix is going to get pushed off. It's the only Phoenix that doesn't have a rebirth mechanic, so it has no healing besides the Mage of Healing, but like it's not going to all of a sudden explode into all of its HP. So that thing is actually just stuck at the HP it has. It is retreating as the handgunners push them back. High Elves way down in the bounce power. It looks like Twist did it, man. It looks like he lost literally round 1 against Hayseed and then ran through the entire loser's bracket to win the tournament. Oh, everybody get down. Grace is here. Shh, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. So Twist did pretty good with the bloated corpses. He did pretty good. Just shh, shh. If we're quiet, she can't see us. The mortars did okay. They got a little bit of value here and there. The handgunners did fantastically. They did immediately. They just did so good. And the bombers did bomber things, and Slaanesh was a good thing. Yeah, good job. For Purple Fuffle, had a good tournament run overall. Really enjoyed watching his play. Hope to see him again in the future. But now my wife is mad at me, so I guess I have to go, guys. I gotta go. I'm in trouble. She mad? I hear her moving around upstairs. Fuck! Run! Scatter!
Oh, you already did.
I ended it.
Job? Damn it!
I ended it. I said I hear her coming. Scatter.